Lovely. Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Paropod.
Hello, good evening. How are you? How are y'all?
How are y'all out there? And winter wonder. No, we're in the middle of basically coming into summer. That's just completely wrong.
Winter Wonderland.
It was actually kind of
April.
snowing the other day. So
It actually was, yeah. Man, it's supposed to snow on Wednesday.
It was meant to be snowing all week apparently.
Yeah, a lot of man. It's supposed to be snowing at the weekend. It's the hottest
Oh,
days
fuck
all
me.
year, and they're saying, "Oh, it's gonna be snowing." And then every single prediction, like up to, it could be the day of, and you look at the forecast 2 hours ahead, completely incorrect. It was constantly wrong every single day.
Oh man,
It's like you might as well be looking at the horoscopes, you know?
yeah, man. That just shows how like fucked global warming is. Like,
Yeah.
all weather apps, they're out the door. They're all fucking
Yeah,
useless now.
Absolutely useless. You know?
How you been anyway since last week?
Grand, you know, grand stuff. Lovely weekend there, so
Nice and chilled.
nice and chilled, chilling out. Like a villain, you know. How are you getting on? How'd you get on?
I'm good. I'm doing grand.
Yeah, same.
You know.
Yeah.
No news.
No news, no.
No. Wait, do I have any news? I made a crazy investment
Oh.
buying headphones.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
But besides that, that's it. that's all my news.
Well, they're pretty cool headphones.
They're
to be
pretty
fair.
good headphones. But
They're pretty cool.
I bought an Xbox remote for my computer. That's it. That's all the news.
What is that? Why?
For playing games, I can play. I modded GTA San Andreas. So because so GTA San Andreas, when you buy it off Steam, is an inferior version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where it's like missing. I think there's like songs missing from it, and there's features that aren't involved. So I modded it, and
How'd you mod it?
I just followed YouTube videos and I had to do it, and I did it. My God, yeah, it's way better now.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it's so much better.
San Andreas, yeah. Yeah, they have that on the PlayStation Store as well.
Mm.
But like, and they're all pretty cheap as well. I actually got GTA as well. Ordered it.
GTA 5 or
5, yeah. You know, cheap enough. But the whole store thing is a scam. Like, you know the way you have to download all these games onto the PS5 now?
yeah.
Like, I don't get it, because they're like double the price. And if you just go to like a shop in town or whatever, or like online, they're all half price.
Yep.
And you can just use the disc, and it doesn't take up half the. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's literally just for like slight convenience.
Yeah, you know, pay €15 so that you don't have to walk or like go onto your laptop and order. You
Yeah.
don't even have to go outside to order.
No,
these
you
things,
just
you know?
you just have to wait.
You just have to wait a bit, you know. I waited and it paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played GTA 5 like since it came out. I'd love to play it because you can play it in first person now.
Can you?
Yep. They added that in with the PlayStation. That thing came out on PlayStation 3.
Yeah. I have it on PlayStation 3 as well.
Yeah, and now it's on PlayStation 5, and there's not like the only added features is like that you can play it in first person, and it looks better, but like that's not.
Oh, they put all these like DLC packs into the new games. I got something where I get like $1 million, which is big money, you know, considering where I used to be on PS3. I used to be flat broke the entire time, you know. And I got 1 million beans.
I remember one of the most annoying aspects of like GTA 5 was when I remember Franklin had missions where like he was fucking with the stock market. And I didn't know, because you know that you can buy stocks in GTA 5. I didn't know that you could buy stocks like for that company or whatever that you can like buy all the stocks for like, you know, whatever company, and then do the missions, and you make like so much money from that.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that, because like, when you finish the game you have loads of money, but you can like make 10 times that amount of money if you buy the stocks. But I did those missions first, and I was fucking raging because like the money's not important in GTA 5, but like, you know, I like to customize the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's pretty important. I never actually finished the game or like the missions. I got about halfway in. I just stopped. I just played online all the time. Got a lot of use out of it though. I got rich at the end though, because the hackers and all. I remember one time I was sitting beside like an oil well, and someone hacked the game, and there was just like money falling from the sky. It was so good. And I had like $1 billion. It was amazing.
Oh, GTA. Oh yeah, the online. That was
the online.
Yeah, online's fun.
I only play online really.
Yeah, fair. No,
So.
that's a really. I don't think anyone really plays GTA 5 like story mode anymore. They just play the online mode.
Yeah.
They make that's why it's released on PlayStation 5 and all, because they make so much money off the online store or the online whatever. You know that game's based off Heat.
Heat, yeah, I mean to watch Heat.
I watched Heat.
Oh, did you?
I watched it on Friday.
Ah, jeez. Man, we could have coordinated.
Yeah,
I was like,
I should have put it on the docket.
yeah, because I was like, will I watch it or not? I
I do, man.
Because it's 2.5 hours. I was like, that's a big
Man,
commitment.
no. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's even
yeah,
it's nearly 3 hours long.
It's
Michael Mann.
Yeah, apparently my dad watches it all the time, like religiously.
It's really good.
You know, Michael Mann, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. Can't go wrong.
You can't. There's like,
you can't.
it's like, it's an amazing film. Where like, it's such a huge scope and it's beautiful. Like it's the vibes and the mood throughout the entire film is amazing, and like, you know, the story and all is pretty good, and it's pretty action packed and stuff like that. It's really well done.
It's like a chase film, is it?
Not really. Like it's like the first hour is setting up. Well, actually, the first like hour and a half is like setting up a bank heist, and then the bank heist happens, and that takes like 20 minutes, and then the preceding hour is like the aftermath of the day of like after the bank heist. But when I was watching it with my mom and my sister was like playing the Switch, whatever, and she had her headphones in, and I was like, oh, this is the film where they wear like Richard Nixon masks or something. I'm pretty sure.
Ah, yeah.
And then the bank heist happened, and they weren't wearing Richard Nixon masks. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I thought that was this film. And then my mom was like, she looked it up and was like, oh no, that's Point Break. And I had said this right at the start of the film, right? The start of the film, I said, oh, this is the one. And my sister was sitting there. I said, yeah, this is I'm pretty sure this is the film too. She watched Point Break 2 months ago and completely forgot that. And it, like,
what a joke.
When the thing happened, I like turned to her and I like, she was playing the Switch and I tapped her. I was like, Jenna. And she's like, what? And I was like, did you watch Point Break? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, did they rob a bank with Richard Nixon masks on? And she's like, yeah, they did. Why? And I was like, so you knew that and you didn't say it to me at the start of the film, like 2 hours ago when I said that this is the film. And she sat there, she's like, oh yeah. Oh, whoops.
Whoops.
Because when they were robbing the bank, I was like, how the fuck are they going to rob another bank?
Yeah. There's no room for that.
There's way too much heat on them.
Yeah. It's too much heat. Yeah, I love a good bank robberies. It's always good, you know.
Nothing better.
Have you watched Dog Day Afternoon?
No, I'm meaning to though.
Very good bank robbery film. Al Pacino again. And that guy from The Godfather, Fredo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Al Pacino's a king.
He actually is.
For such a small man, he's really intimidating.
Yeah.
So angry.
He's sort of falling apart now, like, he's in bits.
I remember him in Jack and
Jill. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. He's just playing angry Al Pacino in that film.
Yeah, and he's just like blatant advertisements for Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. He's not even pretending to be acting. Not. He's just in an ad.
He understands the assignment.
He understands. He does understand the assignment. Jack and Jill was like, Al, do you want all this money? He was like, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's good in The Irishman, though.
The Irishman, yeah. I still haven't watched that.
He's good in that.
Well, he's like 80, isn't he?
Yeah, he's old.
He's really old.
I'm pretty sure he's older than De Niro.
De Niro's a bit in the roughs these days.
Oh man, he's old though. He's like, I think he's 70. I think he's 78 this year because we were actually talking about this with me and my family. Pretty sure he's 78 this year.
78. Yeah, it's an omen.
Fair play to him though. He did his best role only recently. Joker, best work.
Joker.
He took that bullet to the head like a king.
You're laughing. 3 young men are dead and you're laughing. What
you
a line.
This is funny.
That's probably the greatest line of his entire career.
3 men are dead and you're laughing.
It's a great meme.
Iconic. What else did you watch this week, anyway?
I watched 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
Another Robin.
Rest in
Robert,
peace.
Whatever.
Another Rob.
That was a terrible joke. That was a terrible joke. We're cutting that.
Another Rob, actually. Yeah, Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, which is like when he was like breaking out as a serious actor, and everyone was like, "There's more to him than just Mrs. Doubtfire and like
the genie."
The genie, yeah. So like 1 Hour Photo is about this guy that he's a film developer at like a Walmart basically, and he's obsessed with this woman who comes in, and this woman that lives in like an idyllic life as like a housewife to like this guy who owns a company, and she has like a kid and like a big house and stuff, and he's just like really jealous, but he's a really lonely he's like an incel basically. He's a lonely guy, and he's like, I don't know, he's really old, and he's like no family, no friends, and even the kid, like your one's kid, feels bad for him. And basically it's just a story of him.
Such a loser.
Yeah, even the kids, like there's a scene where the kid's going to bed and he's like, "Mommy, I feel really bad for Cy, the photo guy," and that's his name, Cy. And she's like, "Why? You know, he's just a loser or whatever." But like a basic story of him going insane, basically, and like losing the plot. Because whenever he develops the photos, if he likes the person or like he takes a shine to them, he'll like print them, like an extra set for himself, and
God.
and he lives in like this fucking, like it's like Rust Scaff in True Detective.
Yeah.
It's like this really bare kind of flat, like a bed sit, and an entire wall is just covered in photos of this woman's family, like. So he's sort of vicariously living this woman's life, or like living the role of her husband through the images. It's a lot like a Peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Very, very. It's like Peeping Tom, but like nowhere near as good. Obviously, you can't experience anything in like on an immediate or authentic level. It's all vicarious living. It's all in every single scene. He's like either looking at a picture or like at a TV, or like it's him dreaming or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
sounds like social media, man.
Social media, bro. You know, and there's loads of like meaningful little things in there. But basically, he discovers a dark secret about the family, that the husband is cheating on the wife, and so he's like, I need to tell her, and then I'll get in there, you know. And in the meantime, he's being all creepy. But he stalks them and stuff, and he comes up to the kid in the park and he's like talking to the kid. But the entire time, it's not like, oh, this guy's a pedo. It's more like this guy's like, he's like fucked in the head, and he's just like, you know, trying to connect to anyone around him. And these people like talk to him and like know his name. Yeah, and that's the only reason he's following them around. But he decides to like let the wife know somehow. So he switches up the photos. She gets the photo album where her husband's like having sex with some woman that also goes to the Walmart, and things start to spiral out of control. But she doesn't actually break up with him, and so he goes crazy again, and he resolves to arrange circumstances in a way that he'll have photo evidence for himself that he can then pass on to her of you know, the true depth of how badly her husband has betrayed her or whatever. And it's a really weird, really disturbing scene where he basically kidnaps the husband. But
yeah,
it is. It's like an incel. It's a lot like Peeping Tom. Even the ending. The ending is very. There's like a twist at the end. I probably won't spoil it because I don't think a lot of people really see this film.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I won't spoil it. But it's a really cool ending. Really cool twist at the end, where you find out that it's like you end up feeling really bad for him basically, and like it wasn't justified what he did, but at the same time it's like this poor guy, like
he's poor fucker,
because he's the thing at the end is he's basically a victim of the gaze. Like he has been gazed upon. Like that's
I thought you said
the gaze. Yeah.
He's a victim of the gaze.
The gaze. Well, I think we'll cut that out. But
I understand. Yeah, of gazing.
Yeah, of gazing. Use the danger of gazing is what I was trying to say. The whole Scorsese thing that he talked about with Peeping Tom. He was you know, sort of being obsessed by the image. And poor old Cy, you know, Robin Williams' character, he was perverted and sort of fucked up by the image, by the fact that he was turned into an image at like a really defining point in his life. And that's the twist. And then it just ends. It's a good film.
Yeah,
it's
that sounds good.
It's very good. And great performance by Robin Williams. It's very good. Like it's not funny at all. There's no funny moments whatsoever. It's just a thriller. And it's pretty dark and stuff. But like he just pulls it out the bag. I give it a watch because it's only an hour and a half.
Oh, is it?
It's
man, I felt like that was gonna be like 2 hours or something.
No, like a lot happens very, 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 very suddenly. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, I think. It's on Star.
Yeah, it is.
So
I noticed something today, right? I had my VPN on for I was in what the fuck was I watching? I was watching something about. I'll get onto that later. But I had my American VPN on, and then I clicked onto Disney Plus. Like I'm just watching through Scrubs very, very slowly, just having it on in the background, kind of. And I was like, oh yeah, we noticed that you're moving or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Just clicked onto it. They don't have Star.
What, in America?
In America, they don't have Star, so they're missing. Like they just have the bog standard Disney Plus.
Not worth it.
Because in America they have Star, so it's like, well, you can subscribe for Star if you want Star, but in Ireland and places we don't have Star, like as a separate service, if you know what I mean.
Star? What do you mean?
Like Star is a separate service.
It's
in
a
America.
Streaming thing.
It's a streaming. It's its own streaming site.
Oh.
So they just stuck the stuff that's on Star onto our Disney Plus, but they didn't do that for America.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like what kind of streaming service has about 10 films? You know.
I know.
Like what?
Oh man, apparently Star is
Rubbish.
shit. No one uses it.
Yeah, it's rubbish. There's nothing on it. Like
They got 1 hour photo.
Yeah. They have about a dozen watchable films, I'd say.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's just like trollop.
Yeah, the image and fucking getting over, like, obsessed with people. It's bad vibes.
Yeah. More about getting obsessed with, an object.
The idea of someone.
Fetishization, the idea of someone. Like, he doesn't, like, she's not even involved in the last third act. Like, his object of fascination. It's all about sort of his spiral into madness. But it's not a madness either. It's like, seems pretty rational what he's doing. But it's all based on, like, a really fucked up foundation that is revealed in the last scene. So it's good.
I'll give it a go.
I
watched a really bad version of 1 hour photo.
Oh shit.
I watched The Fanatic.
What's
starring
that?
John Travolta, directed by Fred Durst, from
of Limp Bizkit.
This is literally one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen.
When's it from?
It's 2018.
Oh, it's recent.
Recent enough. Right, so I'll give you a taste of, like, how bad this fucking film is. There's a moment in this film where 2 characters are driving in a car, and it's a dad and a son, and the dad's like, "I'm not gonna bit of Limp Bizkit," and they start playing Limp Bizkit, and not one of the classic Limp Bizkit songs, like one of their new songs, and the dad's like, "This is so good, isn't it?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, this rocks," and stuff like that. And it's like, God. Fred Durst, this is the most on the nose thing I think I've ever fucking seen.
That's Al Pacino and Jack and Jill.
Like, it's so fucking obnoxious. It's ridiculous.
Oh God.
So The Fanatic is about John Travolta, and John Travolta is Moose. And Moose is, that's what it says at the start of the film and the end of the film.
Oh.
It's amazing. Moose is like a super fan, but he's also he's like autistic or something. And John Travolta, like, this is like, it's as bad as you think it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
What?
And John Travolta apparently does have an autistic son as well. So God.
Yeah.
He does not. He plays.
How does he play it? Simple Jack vibes.
Oh, Simple Jack. His first line in the film is "Can't talk, I gotta poo."
What?
He comes into the shop and he's like, "I'm like, oh man, I need to show you a photo. I can't show you a photo."
I've seen the photo of him. Like,
have you seen? Like, just look up a photo of him, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and he's got like a mullet. He's not looking. He doesn't look like John Travolta, basically.
Yeah, he's got a bowl cut and stuff,
and he talks like the most like,
backpack.
Oh my God, man, it's really bad. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up? It's me. I'm Moose." Like, shit like that.
Oh yeah. That's grim. That's grim. It's jeez.
And Moose is obsessed with this actor, Hunter Dunbar. It was not a real person. I thought it was a real person. It's not a real person.
They should have done a real person.
They should have done a real person.
Cool.
But so he's really obsessed. He's a major stan. Coming back to that in a second.
Is that in this film?
Right, hold on, right.
Oh God.
So he's a major stan of
dear.
Hunter Dunbar, and like he tries to like befriend him, and Hunter Dunbar's like, "Get the fuck away from me, you stalker freak." And then it just escalates to the point where like he breaks into his house and like he kills the cleaner or something. Moose accidentally kills the cleaner, and then he like goes into the house, and then like he comes back later on to, I can't remember how he does it, but basically he like ties Hunter Dunbar to the bed, and is just like playing like tricks on him, stuff like that. But like he's not trying to be sinister. He's never trying to be violent or anything. He's just like, "I just want to be friends with you, Hunter. I just want to be friends." Basically, is what he says. And then
I love it.
There's like a major shift then in violence where Hunter Dunbar gets like free and he fucks Moose up.
Aww.
Like fucks him up badly, and then he just lets him go, and that's basically the end of the film, right? But there's like this bit I'm gonna fill in, right? So Hunter Dunbar is played by a dude, I can't remember the actor's name, right? This film is about being obsessed with someone famous, right?
Yeah.
The actor of Hunter Dunbar played Stan in the Eminem music video.
He played Stan.
He played the obsessive fan Stan in the Eminem video.
Whoa, fair play! Like that was like one of those seashells down by the seashore.
Yeah. So insane.
That was a tongue twister.
But again, Fred Durst, like that is so unbelievably on the fucking nose. It is ridiculous.
Was this guy?
Yeah, that's him. He plays Stan.
Stan.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah, he plays Stan.
Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty on the nose. Like, how did they come up with this? He probably was watching MTV or something.
I say he watched 1 hour photo, and then he just really likes Eminem. He's like, I'm gonna fucking mix these two together. But right, so this is bad for like a number of reasons. Like John Travolta being, the autistic person, whatever. The dialogue is fucking horrendous. But like, there's just so many things wrong with the film, like fundamentally wrong. Because like, you would think, right, that like the kind of overall message would be like, oh, don't be an obsessive fan, which is basically the message, right? But like, you don't like Moose because of how creepy he's being. But Hunter Dunbar is so unbelievably aggressive, like from the get-go. Like, Moose is clearly someone that is like, he's definitely autistic. Like, it's really obvious that he's autistic. So when he comes up to them first and he's like, oh, hey Hunter, you might, like, he immediately says to Moose, if you come near me, I'm gonna kick the fucking shit out of you. Like, immediately says it to him, and like progresses it to the state where when Moose is like in the house, whatever, and like Hunter Dunbar breaks free, he first takes a shotgun and blows off Moose's like fingers.
What?
And then like Moose is like cowering on the ground, and he gets up and he kicks the shit out of him, and like kicks him down the stairs, and then like kicks him down the stairs, and then takes a shotgun and like shoots beside his ears, like kind of like give him like shock or whatever. Then takes a knife and stabs him in the eye.
What?
And then he's like, oh shit, and he's like, okay, go on, Moose, you can go away now. But like,
that's awful.
Like,
he's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. Like, he
is the bad guy.
He's more of a villain than Moose is, even though Moose is the creepy obsessive fan that's killed someone.
Who wrote this? Like, what the fuck?
It's a fucking mess. Like, that's not how you do that story.
What?
And like, the ending is fucking ridiculous, right? So Moose accidentally kills the house cleaner, but like, he kills her and it's basically dropped. Like, he doesn't even notice because he kills her, and he's like, and she's like bleeding from the nose or whatever, because he like hits her, he like pushes her over and she hits her head, and she's like obviously dead, and he's like, oh, you got a nosebleed? Oh, I had one of those once. And then he just goes into the house, and like, he never thinks about her again.
That's it, like,
that's it, right? But then it comes back in later on where when Moose leaves, like, Hunter Dunbar is like sitting on like whatever, he's sitting on the ground thinking about like how he just fucked up this autistic dude. And the police knock at the door and they take him away and they put him in the car, and the suggestion is that the police found the housemaid's like dead body, and they assumed that it was Hunter Dunbar. Even though like Hunter Dunbar has someone else's blood all over him and whatever. Right? Not only this, when Moose breaks into the house, he like live streams the entire thing on social media, and like character comes up, like his friend who like has like no reason to be his best friend. Like, there's never a reason why he established why she's his friend, but she's like, you can't do that, Moose. You can't break into someone's house and like film it. He's like, get the fuck out, and he shoves her and he kicks her out of the house, whatever. But he posts photos of him beside Hunter Dunbar when he's asleep, and he kisses him in the head and stuff like that. And I was like, that would immediately go viral if that was to happen in real life. I was like, why would the police think that Hunter Dunbar killed this woman when like all he has to say is, oh, this stalker was in my house?
It's all over Twitter.
It's all over Twitter.
Yeah. That's so bizarre. Like, that sounds sort of low-key amazing.
It's amazing, but it's also like, it's 80 minutes long and it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Like, what were they thinking?
Fred Durst is a crazy
an
person.
An autistic man who stalks a celebrity, and then the celebrity fucks the autistic guy up, and then that's it.
That's it. Like, I was like, after it was finished, I was like, what was the message?
Yeah. What's the moral or whatever?
What are you trying to tell me?
Apparently made $3,000 at the box office.
It cost $15 million.
Did it?
And it made $3,000 on its opening weekend.
Oh my god, that is something
amazing.
Else. Yeah, like, I don't even know that. Like, the guy who wrote it, well, it's written by Fred Durst and Dave Beakerman, who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, but it's just a guy, like
some dude.
It's just some dude, like
Fred Durst's mate.
Yeah, probably. That is gas.
Oh man, it's so bad. And like, there's just these really weird bits in the movie, and it's like, why has this got to do with anything that's going on in the film? Like, he's Moose makes his money by being like a London cop on like the streets of like Hollywood or whatever. But he has like, it's not, you don't realize that that's what he's doing. Like, you just think that he's dressing up as a cop and like playing whatever. Because like, he's like, "Welcome to Hollywood," and he sounds like fucking The Room.
Tommy Wiseau.
He sounds like Tommy Wiseau. He's like, "Welcome to Hollywood, where the dreams come true," some shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, "What is he doing?" And then then half an hour later, you realize, oh, he's doing it to get money.
Let's get the Bobby
With the worst fucking mullet ever.
Yeah. It sounds kind of unique, to be fair.
Oh man, it's a train wreck.
Like, why would you make that? You know, Fred Durst could have stuck to his usual scams. John Travolta, he really took a dive.
Man, has he ever?
He has not. What was the last good thing he was in? I don't know. Like,
I have no idea.
It must be this like
Face Off or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
When's Face Off though? Is that the 90s or is that
2000?
If that's 2000s, I think that might be the last. Hairspray.
Hairspray, yeah. Everyone loved Hairspray.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything, man. He's been in bad movies for the last literally for the last 10 years.
Yeah, he looks all fucked up as well, like.
And he was in Gotti, which is apparently like fucking awful as well.
Gotti.
Yeah, he plays Gotti was like a gangster, but like the movie suggests that Gotti was a really good guy, even though he's a
he's a murderer.
He's a murderer, like.
Oh, yeah, is that like? Yeah. He's mentioning The Sopranos and stuff. Gotti. Yeah, fucking hell.
But the Fanatic, oh my god, what a fucking mess.
He was in Bolt. Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. That's a good film.
Oh yeah, is that the train one?
Yeah.
That's like 2011 though, isn't it?
It's 2009, yeah.
Yeah, so he had
that was the last good film.
2009, like fucking 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because even like John Travolta, like really isn't. He's not very good. Like even like in Pulp Fiction, like Tarantino gave him that film because he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring John Travolta back."
Yeah.
And then John Travolta fucking like just wasted that.
made a mint, like.
Made a mint, to be fair.
Yeah, he hadn't been in anything since Grease, really. Yeah, that's what a guy though, you know. Scientologists.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a big like expose about that in like 50 years. Be one of those MK Ultra things, like they're all CIA or something. Like. There's something going on with that thing.
John Travolta, I don't understand because like Tom Cruise is fucking crazy and into Scientology, but he's doing fucking good. Like he's doing good movies.
Yeah, because he's a good actor, you know.
Yeah,
and he's like he knows what to pick.
Yeah, he knows how to pick his roles.
Yeah, I think he's like head of like a studio and stuff.
And he's also he's actually like John Travolta's crazy, but like Tom Cruise is fucking crazy.
Yeah, crazy in like many different ways.
Yeah.
John Travolta's just crazy in one weird way, you know.
Like, did you ever see that clip of like Tom Cruise when like he was doing one of the stunts for like Mission Impossible and he fucking broke his foot and he just kept going?
No.
Oh man, there's a bit like he's like it's really simple, like just a simple stunt. Like he has to jump like from one building to the next, but like he landed funny and like you see the clip and his foot like
fucks up.
His foot, his toes hit his shin basically, and he just gets up and he starts like fucking hobbling along. And they kept it in the film, but like he fucking mangled his foot.
I'd be afraid of that guy, you know?
But he kept going.
Like you can't mess with that guy. Like, that's why Scientology is still around, because they're like no one wants to like confront Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise,
what's he gonna do?
Fuck you.
You start doing that run at you, and you'll be like, you'll just like bottle it straight away.
Remember that fucking clip of him like during COVID, and he's like yelling at the person.
Yeah, and he's completely correct.
He's correct.
Completely correct.
He's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Cruise.
Yeah, I'm like, please don't hurt me, Tom. He's a legend though, you know.
He's just fucking mad bastard.
Slightly problematic with all the cult stuff, but who isn't in a cult?
Yeah, who isn't in a cult?
Will Smith and all, they're in that as well.
Yeah. It's a lot better than the Nazi pedo cults in Chile.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I want to give up, before we get into this, right? Content warning for bad shit like
Nazis, pedophiles, rape,
pedophilia, everything, right? It's like just fucking everything, right? I watched this film. Check this timestamp if you want to skip this. I watched a film called La Casa Lobo, otherwise known as The Wolf House, which is a Chilean stop motion film from 2018. I think it's 2018. I can't remember. 2018 anyway. And a fucking mental film, right? So the animation in this is so fucking unique. It's stop motion, but what they did is that they had like a studio. They had multiple studios, and I think there's like an art installation in a couple of places as well, where basically they paint over walls like repeatedly to like make movement, if you know what I mean. So like a hand, imagine like a studio or like a room or whatever, and there's a hand painted, but the hand moves across, but like they just keep painting, and you can see the remains of the paint behind.
Yeah.
And it moves, and they add in 3D, so the hand, they'll have paper mache coming out of the wall for the hand and stuff like that. Really fucking cool. Fucking terrifying. It is so creepy, and it's like really disturbing imagery from it. And it's about, the story is that this girl Maria, I think her name is, flees a cult, and she finds a house, and she stays in the house, and there's a wolf outside that she's trying to hide away from, and she finds 2 pigs, and then the pigs turn into children, and then she's taking care of the children, but then it has like this dream logic to it, but it's like a nightmare logic where like things start to descend really badly, and ultimately she chooses to let the wolf in, and the wolf like saves her from the kids or whatever, and she's like, oh, I want to be with the wolf. But I was like, this is like 75 minutes, and I was like 30 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is going on? And I looked it up, and it said it was based on La Coña Dignidad.
Yeah.
Butchering that pronunciation, but something like that.
Colonia Dignidad.
Which is a real place, or was a real place. It was this compound in Chile, run by Paul Schaefer. Paul Schaefer fled west.
Not a nice guy.
Not a nice guy. He fled West Berlin in the 60s. He was a Baptist preacher, and he had a really big following, whatever. But he had to flee West Berlin because a couple of the moms of the convent, or whatever, had accused him of doing some stuff with their kids, and the allegations were like, heavy enough that like the police were after him. So he fled, but like he convinced like 400 people or something like that to come with him, and he was able to do it because he said he convinced them all that the Russians were going to come in and just take over West Berlin, and we got to fucking go, like we got to leave, things are going to get worse. So people followed him over, and he set up this under like the Chilean government helped him out with this as well. I think Pinochet was the dictator at the time, and helped him set it up.
That sounds like him.
And basically, it was a bunch of Nazis, like genuine Nazis, that had fled with him as well. They set up this compound, and this compound was not a good place. This was I was watching a bit of a documentary about it, and one of the people described it as a pedophile's paradise, where what they would do is he basically, like Paul Schaefer, basically convinced everyone that like when you had a kid, you'd immediately like give up the kid, and it'd be like the community would take care of the kid. So like parents didn't know who their kid was, and kids didn't know who their parents were, and everyone was, as a kid, you were to refer to everyone as aunt and uncle, and they did some fucked up things to the kids, like really, really awful fucking things. And they made I think at one point they said like, it was basically like slave labor in the compound as well. They had 1 day off the entire year. They worked every single day, like producing like honey and shit like that, which comes into this film. And it was an awful fucking time. And this film is about that, where the girl Maria, it's never like properly said, but like it's obvious, like, because that this is what it's based on.
It's an allegory.
It's an allegory for it, where like the wolf is Paul Schaefer, and like she flees the cult, and is like scared of the cult, but like the isolation and the kind of like Stockholm syndrome, I guess, like is fucking her up so badly that like instead of facing the outside world, she has to like come back to the cult. Yeah. And it's really fucking depressing. And like I went down an awful rabbit hole, like finding out about Colonia Dignidad.
Yeah, didn't people like he justified, because he only died recently as well.
He died like
2010. Yeah, but he spent the last 5 years of his life in prison. But he like justified what he did by using like the tears. Like people, when they first closed the camp down, people cried and stuff. Like the kids were there start crying, and like everyone was sad that the camp was closing. And he used that as justification to say, "Oh, it can't have been bad if people are crying at the fact that it's closing." It's obviously, when you're in a cult, it's a very different thing. You're gonna like the people were attached to it and made attached to it, and like sort of stitched onto the cult. It was part of them and they were it. So like obviously they're gonna cry, but he was like, it was grand.
Yeah,
like they're sad. Look at them.
Yeah, like and like the documentary I was watching, like they had like a couple of the survivors of the camp, and like the guys like remembered like what happened. Oh fucking hell! Like they would use like they would like electrocute them and stuff like that, like and like sterilize the young girls with cattle prods basically and shit like that. Fucking horrendous stuff. And like it was also used like when Pinochet like started like torturing and like, you know, communists and stuff like that, he'd send them to the camp and the camp would be used as a torture chamber basically. And yeah, just an overall bad fucking time. And made me
Bad
like
vibes.
made me learn about like Pinochet a bit more and Operation Concord.
Condor, yeah.
Condor. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I just looked it up there.
Operation Condor was basically South America got real fucked up with
CIA.
basically CIA implanting like a load of like dictators in basically all the major countries, and all the dictators basically met in Buenos Aires, I think it was, and they all agreed like, let's fucking hunt out all the communists and the socialists and let's just fucking kill them and like lock them up and torture them. And Henry Kissinger was like leader of the CIA or FBI.
He was just chilling, like he was like he was like a secretary for something as well. I don't think he was ever leader.
He's just a
of
mad
CIA.
cunt. Like,
he was just like the attack dog, you know. Probably one of the worst people who ever lived.
Yeah,
and he's still alive.
He's still
That's
alive.
the thing, you know. Not a bad guy, or not a good guy.
Not a good
sorry.
guy.
Yeah.
He
Not a
like
good guy.
helped all the dictators like hunt out all the communists because obviously America during the Cold War, they didn't want any fucking countries near them, like another country like Cuba turning communist. So he provided like full support for this and aided intelligence and stuff like that to help all the dictators like persecute communists and like butcher them and stuff like that.
Yeah, bad out.
So basically America supported a Nazi pedophile cult in Chile.
Yeah, Pinochet. You know, notable thing about Pinochet, the foundation. He was like the litmus test. He was like the lab rat for neoliberalism. Like Thatcher, Reagan, all big fans of Pinochet. Thatcher loved Pinochet. Yeah,
learning about that. Yeah,
and they got the they sent in neoliberal economists who had studied under Milton Friedman, who was like the god of all this stuff, and they studied under him, and they studied in Chicago, and then they sent them all back down to Chile. And they're given all these posts in government under Pinochet's dictatorship, which was also a dictatorship that came into power after overthrowing a democratically elected government.
Are they all?
In Santiago or whatever. It's all fucked up. Like Pinochet is like not a good guy. He
No.
killed thousands and thousands of people.
I think he had like when he died, he was awaiting trial or something for like I think it was like something like 365 cases. Or like major cases of like human rights violations and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. That's like, you know, that's just what they could charge him with, you know.
And yeah,
I think flee.
They estimate something like 30 or I think it was something like 60,000 people died underneath his regime from like executions and like being in prison and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was mad. Bad guy. And
like he used fucking Paul Schaefer's fucking camp, which was probably one of many that was in Chile. I doubt this was like, this is, you know, this has got the label of having a Nazis involved in it. So
yeah, it's cooler. It sort of sticks out, you know.
Yeah, it just sticks out.
Yeah.
But especially because they fled West Germany, so it's like, okay, so the American-run like place obviously knew that Paul Schaefer had fled to Chile, which was backed by America as well. So they're like, well, just let him
chill, like, you know, if he's killing the troublesome lads, it's grand, you know. Let him do it, you know.
You know, whatever about the kids, whatever. But like, you know,
it's like West Germany was run by Nazis as well. It's all Nazis all the way down here, you know, especially South America. Like, they love it down there. Yeah. I thought he would have been from like pre-war Germany or like the actual Nazi Germany, but like this guy was a Nazi and then he kept going, and then they were like, go float on down to Chile.
I think he was a medic or something.
Yeah. It's like,
but like he supported the Nazis fully.
Like, what's that about, you know?
It's fucked. And like the way that he like used religion as well, because one of the guys that they interviewed in the documentary, he was like, I think he was brought from West Berlin by his family to go over to the camp with Paul Schaefer. Like he was one of the first there, and he said like people after in like post-war Germany on both sides of like West and East, they were just looking for some form of hope or something because they were so demoralized after what happened, and loads of them like latched onto like religion and cults and shit like that. I'm sure there's tons of that shit that went on, That happens a lot in oh god, Indonesia. I think that happened a lot in Indonesia, where like culture where it became a huge thing in Indonesia when like after the I can't remember what they call it, but like
The 66 thing.
yeah, after they just went massacring
Also the
people.
CIA.
Also CIA.
Also the CIA.
Yeah.
There's everywhere.
Yeah, like
You
just
know?
fucking people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And like the Wolf House, like watching it, knowing that this is what it's talking about, made it 10 times more disturbing and 10 times like more impactful, because like you're watching like, oh right, yeah, so this is the mindset of someone that like went through this trauma and ultimately couldn't get away from this trauma and went back into it, and it's like the most depressing fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
It's also really fucked up because like it's these like the imagery in it is like really scary because it's just like really uncanny because they use like stop motion and like it's all paper mache and stuff like that, and like paintings, and like there's a bit where like it's a boy, and I can't remember what's exactly happening like in the context of the story, but basically like he's like moving or something, and like they just keep keeping on painting him black and white, but like you can tell that like you can literally see the thickness of the paint from them like constantly doing more and more layers on top of them, and then there's yellow, and then there's red, and then there's black, white, red, black, white, and stuff like that. And it's just like he kind of gets disfigured from it because of that. It's really well done.
Yeah. It sounds a bit paro.
Oh man, it is paro. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Really good though. It's only 75 minutes.
Yeah. That's always good when something has like that sort of connection to history and stuff, and like a cultural context to it, you know. It's very important.
Yeah.
Cultural context.
Yeah, because this film I learned about all this shit that I had no idea was a thing.
Yeah, South America got fucking raped by the CIA. Still is, you know. They're only recovering now, you know. Chile's in a decent way these days, though. They have an election this year, and the communists are actually first in the polls. That won't last, but like they were recently.
Pure fucking. Well, do you remember fucking Elon Musk saying like, we'll just stage a coup in Bolivia if anything happens?
Yeah.
Like now, instead of having the CIA doing it, they're having fucking like I know that Elon Musk probably said that like as a meme or whatever, but like they actually do that. Like private companies do that on the behalf of fucking the government now, because it would probably be way too obvious that the CIA are doing it. It's like, well, why don't we get Tesla or something to do it?
They outsource it, you know. It's like it's neoliberalism, you know. Outsource it to someone else who can do it without having to be like constrained by human rights laws and like, you know, international treaties. All a load of bollocks, you know. But like the United Fruit Company back in the day.
Yeah, the Banana Republics.
Republics. That's what made Che Guevara so mad. Like that's why he was so angry all the time. It's because he was involved in that, and they had that revolution. And then the Americans came in and were like, we want our bananas, and they just like destroyed everything. And that's why he went fucking ape and went to Cuba and all that stuff. Yeah. So they created their own problems basically.
But because like South America, like that's where you get the magical realism, because that's what 100 Years of Solitude is based on, the Banana Republics and stuff like that. And like they just have a really, I don't know what it is, like South America literature and art and stuff like that is just amazing. But like you really do need to know the context. Yeah,
there's like a cursed vibe, you know. Is there something in the air, you know?
It's probably like the history of colonialism and stuff like that, on top of all this fucked up shit that went on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. You know, it's like
colonialism, one fucked up form of shit, but then you got
everything
the Cold War shit that went on
100 years, you know. Even till this day, you know. Even in Brazil, you see your man got released from prison, Lula, recently.
No.
The Brazilian former president, 2 presidents ago, was in prison for corruption, but they had to release him there, I think last month. So he can run again now for the next term against Bolsonaro.
Who's also a piece of shit.
The president who was imprisoned was actually, like, he's the good guy.
No, but isn't Bolsonaro?
He's a piece of shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, CIA as well, probably. You know,
probably.
They're all CIA, man. Like, look it up. But they'll make it out. They're like a caged animal down there. Something big's gonna happen there. You know,
major revolution.
Keep your eyes peeled for South America. You know,
and keep your eyes on America. They're gonna fucking they have their ways, but that's too close to home to be letting shit happen.
Getting their tentacles slithering all up in here.
Yeah, God, fucking hell. Yeah.
Mexico.
I know we're very anti-American on this podcast, but we have our justifications for it.
Oh, no.
When you learn about this shit.
I love the Americans, but like CIA, I don't like the CIA. That's my only problem.
Yeah, when you look at the Cold War, you're like, I know the communists were like, they were pretty bad, but America were also really fucking bad.
Nah, the Eastern Bloc, they were grand. Yeah, like CIA. Way worse. Way worse in every way. Like, every single way.
You just look at I always say when people are like, oh, like 1 million people died because of communism or whatever in Russia, man. And then it's like, okay, well, 2.3 million Southeast Asian people died in the Vietnam War. Like Cambodia and Laos weren't even involved in it, and they got fucked up by the Americans as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all just got the shit bombed out of them. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, like people need to read fucking at least like certain portions of like manufacturing consent. Like just like when Chomsky and Herman go through like the news reports of like what Laos and Cambodia, who weren't even involved in the Vietnam War, what was going on, and like how like parts of it looked like the moon because of like the bombing that they were suffering, because America were like, there's North Vietnamese people. It's not because there's a few communists that are starting to rise up in this area. It's got nothing to do with that. But there are North Vietnamese soldiers there, so we're just gonna bomb the shit out of this place.
Bomb the whole thing. That's when they had Pol Pot. They called Pol Pot a communist, and maybe he had some weird ideas that were influenced by that. Backed by the CIA.
Yeah,
look it up.
He was, yeah, no,
he was. And
then they turned against him.
Yeah, yeah. It's all it's all smoke and mirrors out there, and like obviously other countries have their version of the CIA. Britain sort of invented that whole thing, so
black and tans,
black and tans, MI5. Irish history is based just the history of the MI5,
yeah.
Black and tans and all the boyos, So, that's just the way it is.
It makes me so fucking mad.
Yeah,
I get so angry when I talk about this shit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's enough to rile someone up. That's why they don't talk about it. That's why they're so successful at what they do. Because like you have like whole foundations and think tanks based around like 100 million people died and like. Under Mao and like Stalin and stuff like that, but like you don't have any think tanks or anyone really talking about like 1 million people dying in Indonesia or like Vietnam or like all the capitalist famines in Africa or like the 60 million people in India died in the space of the 19th century under the British rule,
or Yemen now, which is backed by America.
Yemen now, or like it's just like. It's all there if you look into it, but they don't. No one talks about it.
Don't talk about it because our media is fucking owned by, America, and that's what pisses me off the most as well. When people are like, "Oh man, so like the left are taking over the media," it's like they are literally not. Like if you actually look at what's going on, they are literally not.
Absolutely not. The media is the enemy. The media is right wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right wing as fuck. Like. Fuck it. Let's talk about let's talk about Minari.
Oh yeah,
some positive vibes.
Minari, okay, what's that?
Stephen Young, our boy, back again for the third time.
Glenn from Walking Dead. He's back.
He's back, nominated for an Oscar with this film.
Oh shit! Oh, this is the Korean thing.
This is the Korean thing. I decided we watched it on the weekend. Really, really fucking good. This is the only film, or I don't know, is Charles Chicago 6 or 7 nominated? For Best Picture?
It definitely is.
Yeah, I think it is. But Minari, man, that is good fucking vibes. That's a good fucking movie. I hope that wins now.
What's it about?
It's about a Korean family that moved to America. Mom, dad, boy, girl. And they move over to America, to Arkansas, I think it is. Where they lived in California first, but they moved to Arkansas anyway. And they want to set up a farm to grow Korean food because they know that more Korean people are moving over. This is set in the 80s, and like there's mention to Reagan and stuff like that. So they want to grow all this Korean food, and they're not doing well money wise. So grandma comes over, and grandma's got money, and she kind of lives there for a while. And it's basically just about like it's basically like a story of like a first generation. That's what I was like, first immigration. That's not the right word. First generation of like immigrants moving to a place and like trying to get set up and like trying to like keep your roots to like where you're from and stuff like that, but also integrate into the society around you and like understand the people around you, and using religion as a way to do that, but like religion as like for like as a nice thing, as a community thing, as opposed to like a power thing, which we'll get onto later on. But
there's a whole thing about that.
And it's really good. And Stephen Young is an amazing actor. He really is. He is so fucking good.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him in anything except for Sorry to Bother You. Great. Great in that, you know.
And great in Walking Dead.
Great in Walking Glenn's. I loved Glenn. I hated when he died.
Yeah, man, the show took a major dip.
It actually did.
Like,
yeah. That's when I was like, it's not worth watching. But yeah, Korea. Another country that got fucked. But on top of that.
Yeah. We're going back in loops there.
There's a reason they emigrated, but yeah.
There's actually mentioned the Korean War as well in this, because one of their neighbors is like, he was in Korea in the war and he's able to speak Korean, so like he talks to them and stuff like that, and he helps them on the farm. But he's also like an insane level of religious. Like every Sunday he like walks like 2 miles or whatever, like carrying a cross like Jesus.
What?
Like he's crazy.
Yeah.
And but it's about like finding yourself kind of, and like believing in yourself, because the young boy has a heart murmur. And he has what's that thing called when you have like, is a heart murmur caused by like having a little hole in your heart?
I don't know.
Well, he has that anyway. He's got one of those little holes in his heart.
Yeah.
Where like the beat is off or whatever. And like the grandma like kind of teaches him to like kind of believe in yourself more. And like he's a little shit, David. He's a little shit, but he's also like super cute and like really lovable. And he plays pranks on grandma. And Stephen Young and the mom like fucking hate that he's doing it, but like grandma thinks it's okay, it's cool, don't worry about it. It's just like good vibes and very cozy film for the most part, and then things kind of take a turn like in the third act, but whatever, that doesn't really matter because things end up good. And it's just good. It's just a very good film. It has an unusual vibe to it, I think, to an American film, where it's very much an independent film. Like it's got like, there's no like major arcs in the film really. Like there are, but there isn't, if you know what I mean.
Who directed?
Some dude.
Some guy.
Korean? Yeah, Korean guy. And I know that it's heavily based on his life.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, it's really good though.
Are Koreans Christian?
Yes.
Are they?
They're Catholic, I think.
They're Catholics?
I think. Could be wrong there, but I think they're Catholic.
Jeez. South Korea.
But they are Christian anyway, because they go to Mass and all.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds sort of, kind of vibey.
Yeah, it is good. It's good. And it's like, oh man, it's beautiful. Like Arkansas. Like just like greenery and like countryside and like luscious valleys and whatnot, like, you know what I mean? Good.
Yeah, where'd you watch it?
Rakuten,
nah.
But like blast. You had to buy it proper. Like I think it's like €12 or something.
Yeah, man, the prices to buy new films or to even see them. Like I still haven't seen. I think was it our first episode we talked about Judas and the Black Panther? What was it called?
Yes,
Judas and the Black Messiah. I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen that.
It's been out for 3 months.
Yeah,
because it's €22 or something like that
rip off
to rent on YouTube.
Wait, let me have
it's something absolutely ridiculous, and I haven't even thought about buying it. But
it might be cheaper. Let's check Rakuten here now, because it might be cheaper on Rakuten.
I feel like Mubi or something should have that.
Mubi should, but I think it's because it's a new film.
Yeah. Like everyone slandered Disney for 30 quid for Mulan. And then everyone else just does the same thing and no one talks about it.
18
€18.
It's €4 cheaper anyway.
It's fucked up.
But you also get points from that. So you get 1,799 points. You can buy film, like you can rent films with that then. Like films like cost like 299 points. So you can rent like 15 films or whatever from that.
Right, yeah. That's a way better system.
Or 5 films, I guess. 15,
YouTube.
5 films.
Yeah. That's much better than YouTube, I suppose.
Yeah, Rakuten's fucking good. And like the only problem is though, the only problem, and there's free stuff on Rakuten as well. Rakuten TV, I recommend people checking that out because they have free films on it. But the only problem is that you can't Chromecast free films.
Yeah,
because they need to show you ads. But they only show you like there's ads every half an hour, and the ads are 5 seconds long. But it's good. Rakuten's very good. They good shit on it. It's where I watched the Fanatic.
Oh yeah.
I rented the Fanatic.
How much is that?
€3.
Could be worse. Like the Scooby Doo films are all €4, like
Yeah, I know.
So could be worse.
Take a break.
Yeah.
Then we go into Scooby Doo.
Aye. And now for part 4 of our Scooby Doo series, part 2 of the Scooby Doo series, Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
It's such a drastic improvement.
It actually is. It's actually amazing. It's actually very, very good.
It is.
It's way better than the last 2 that we did. Scooby Doo and Alien Invaders and Scooby Doo and the Cyber Chase. It's miles better. This actually came out second in the order that we've done this.
We have completely fucked this.
We've done it nearly, not even the opposite way around. It's like even more complicated. This is actually the second in the series, but we've done it as the last of the animated films.
We bookended it.
Exactly. Yeah, we put all the shite ones in the middle, even though they're not that bad. But
Alien Invasion.
this makes Alien Invasion look shite, which it is sort of. But yeah, Scooby Doo Witch's Ghost. It's really good.
Really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, you can definitely see like how Alien Invasion is kind of like a copy of it.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways,
with the false ending, basically.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, you go into it thinking, oh, Zombie Island. This is part of a cycle of films. Started with Zombie Island. Zombie Island established that the monsters, the threats are real. In this film, all these films, you go into them thinking, oh, the threat is real, but then it turns out it's not real. But then it turns out that it is real in a different way. Witch's Ghost carried on that kind of spirit, or started it basically. And then Alien Invaders is just like a really like bad rip-off of...
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi version of it.
Yeah.
And witches are so much cooler than the aliens.
Yeah, I think the Alien Invaders one just isn't as like...
It's not as creepy or anything.
Yeah, it's not as creepy. It's not as well done.
No.
Like the animation of this is amazing.
Yeah, the animation.
It's really good.
This is like basically on par animation-wise with the... Well, not exactly, but like it's basically on par.
Yeah, like all the backdrops and the sets, even like the vibe of the town that they're in. I forget what's the name of it.
No idea.
It's like a Salem copy basically.
Yeah,
like
well they literally reference Salem. It's like, oh, it's kind of like Salem. They're like, yeah, kind of like Salem.
Yeah, it's Salem, but it's not, But yeah, even the backdrops and like the vibe of the town is like so distinct, and really get a feel for it. And the characters themselves, like the gang, are like animated kind of differently, kind of more cheaply than everything else, which is a bit weird. But like even the expression on the characters' faces, like there's like little sort of like the details in the background when like there's wind blowing and stuff. It's like really high quality. It's like cinematic quality. Whereas like in Alien Invaders, it just looks like a cartoon episode.
I think as well a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is actually at night, whereas Alien Invaders, most of it was taking place during day, and it's a fucking desert, so it's bright as shit.
Yeah. Well, they could have done something with it, You could have done something. Plus, the ending of Alien Invaders was probably the worst part. It takes place in a cave,
It's fucking awful.
It's so bad. This one doesn't have any like grand explanation of the exact details of their evil plan, because you don't know who has the evil plan till the very end. That's the whole point. That's why it's so good, because the false ending leads into a twist, which is actually kind of pulls the rug underneath it. Like obviously we've seen this before, but I didn't expect.
I thought that this was going to be the worst one.
I remember it as being the worst one. I remember, like, my order of favorites would probably be Zombie Island, Cyber Chase. Well, the order we've done them in, basically.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like, but this one's like easily like better than the last
Let's
two.
say that's the reason why we did it in this order. Because I had the same thing. I thought Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders, which is.
Yeah. But
it's
like,
not.
It's not like that, and it's actually a different way, and it's also at the same time still a very obvious decline in quality throughout the series, but like it works. This one, Witch's Ghost, is class. Like the witches, the Hex Girls are in this. Hex Girls are like cultural eco Goths. They're cultural touchstones at this point. Everyone knows the Hex Girls and their sort of songs. Their songs are amazing as well.
Their songs are the best in the entire series.
Yeah. Well, it's Terror Time again has a place in my heart.
Yeah, no, Terror Time's the best, but like overall.
Yeah. They have a song at the end about loving the earth. Like one thing that really struck me, like watching this in particular, is like how like these films don't seem to age. Like they're not dated at all. Like they're almost more relevant now to the extent that they can't. A Scooby Doo film can be relevant. More relevant now than they were when they were released,
Witches are back.
Wiccans and stuff like that,
And so is econism.
Eco-goths.
Wait,
environmentalism.
Environmentalism, thank you. I could not think of the word.
Ecoism. It's all the same. Yeah, eco-goths, Wiccans. Like that's Tumblr stuff. Like that's not. This is released in 1999. How did they?
Year of my birth.
Yeah, back in the day, and they were talking about all these things, all these deep themes about the environment and loving the earth, and witches not being that bad. You know, they're not
Yeah.
evil in this. They're the good guys, basically. Well, except for the evil witch, but
Yeah, but besides her,
yeah,
she's the most evil.
she is pretty evil, but she's evil for different reasons.
Yeah.
She's not a
Yeah.
Wiccan.
Yeah, she's not a Wiccan. She's fucking. She's a witch. She's a bad witch.
Aye.
It is cool though, and like I like the way that like it does kind of pull the rug out underneath you, because like I was watching, I was like, that witch doesn't look like the witch, because I completely forgot that there's a second witch in this. I was like, that witch doesn't look like the witch in the front of the cover, and then I was like, when they got rid of, then when they caught the witch, with 30 minutes in, I was like, and there's 30 minutes to go, I was like, oh wait, I remember this now. Yeah, he's like, he double crosses them because that's why he wants the book so bad.
Ravencroft, that old dog.
Yeah, he's like Edgar Allan Poe and Stephen King just mixed together.
Yeah, but way more powerful.
Way more powerful. He's actually magic.
Yeah. He's cool, you know, and the whole dynamic they have going. They really ramp up the sexual tension in this one.
My God, they like blatantly say as well that Fred and Daphne as well.
Yeah, are like gonna be a thing or whatever.
It's like, why do you always go with Daphne? He's like, oh well, Daphne, I've always wanted to say this to you, and then it's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah. And then they never address it again.
They never address it again.
It's just terrible. And Velma's like got a mad horn on for fucking Ravencroft or whatever.
My God, does she?
She's mad for him, and you know she gets betrayed at the end because he's actually evil. So just goes to show.
Never trust to do that into literature.
With a ponytail, yeah.
Never trust a writer.
Yeah.
We learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Been there, Velma. Been there.
Quit that.
The hair's that long. Something going on. Yeah, it's cool. You know, I love how the witches like the hex girls, when they believe they're witches, and they have like a secret ritual that Thorn goes off to do, and she just goes into a shed and starts vaping. And
It's just vaping on the herbs.
They're like, oh my God, it's a secret, it's a magic ritual, you know. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, they actually are vaping. I didn't even think of that.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty sure Shaggy be into whatever the fuck they're doing in there anyway.
Yeah, Shaggy and Scoob, like, you know, they're grand.
Fat bastards. You see the fucking...
Yeah, with the chef. There's always a chef in these, you know.
Yeah, there's always a chef. There's always someone cooking.
This is actually the funniest out of all of them as well, for me.
Yeah.
I laughed most at this than any of the others, you know. Because there's always something in it. Even when Shaggy and Scooby first meet the ghost and like they run away, and then they meet the gang and they're showing them where they ran through the wall in the barn, and it's just like the like the damage on the wall of the barn it's just the shape of their bodies, and they're just Ravencroft's just like, oh, this barn is fine except for the damage to the wall. I just found that hilarious for some reason.
A Shaggy and Scoob shaped hole in the wall.
Yeah.
They're the plan. I like the way they don't even try in this film to like explain like how the witch was flying or whatever. It makes literally no sense. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it was a cherry picker. So there's a cherry picker fucking bombing it down like in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
At like 50k an hour, and no one noticed, you know.
No one
and
noticed.
the entire town was in on it, and like no one told them about it, you know.
It's like you could actually seriously injure these two as well. Those fucking, you're shooting fireworks at them.
Yeah. That's a claim, like.
Could have taken their eye out.
Yeah, you know, town council wouldn't like that. You know, the Mayor Corey, a reference to your man Giles Corey, who had the stone pressed on him in Salem.
What? Never heard this.
You know, and you know the guy he was like accused of fucking. It's in the Crucible. He was accused of witchcraft or something like that, and so he's sentenced to death. And they stuck a stone on top of him, Giles Corey. And it was this big heavy stone, and he was lying under it for hours, and they're like, oh, have you had enough, do you want to confess? And he was just like, more weight. And it's like a legendary thing. It's like a legendary stoic kind of response to difficulty, or like
what a king.
Adversity in the face of persecution. But yeah, that's what the mayor was named after.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the witch stuff as well, where it's like, oh, she was just a healer that they didn't understand or whatever, like originally, like when he's like kind of lying, it's like she's just a Wiccan.
He was making it up, yeah.
He was just making it up. Like, she was just like, because that is like in terms of like the dynamics of like the witch trials and stuff like that. Like that was basically, it was just women that had like an upper hand within a society, and then they're like, we got to get this bitch out of the way. We got to fucking burn her at the stake, make a show out of her. We want religion, we want Christianity, the good values to take over here. So we got to take out all these alternate beliefs, I guess is the word to describe
all
it, or
these
whatever.
dissenters, yeah.
Pagans, get rid of them.
Yeah, pagan lads, you know.
And that shit happened.
Yeah, witch trials, mad stuff, mad history, especially you know, as like a sort of a layover, because it's more famous in the States than it is like in England, like
Even though in England it happened way more.
Yeah, it was huge in England, and like it didn't even happen that often. That's like the thing. It's like it's like a big part of the cultural consciousness, but it's more because of like how sort of heinous and like bizarre it was that this like hysteria existed. But like there was only a few hundred, or like only, but like it wasn't like thousands or like tens of thousands of people died. It was sort of localized, wasn't it?
But I think like the terror that caused made people conform more with society in case you got called out as a witch. And it's like using terror to make people conform. Yeah, especially to make women conform.
Yeah, there's a good film about that as well. We'll talk about later. But
yeah, we'll get onto that later.
In about 5
but
minutes,
but like because when I was watching it, I was like just thinking about like the Caliban and the Witch.
Yeah.
Federici. Can't think of her first name. Very good book. Looking at it through the Marxist lens, because you know that's what we're gonna fucking do here.
Aye.
And like looking at the witch trials through the Marxist lens, and like how it was like a form of primitive accumulation. Is that what he calls it?
Yeah.
Like a form of primitive accumulation, like how it forced women into a certain role. You know, be the reproducers at the house, all that shit. And that's what the witch trials did. Because before the witch trials, society as a whole is way more egalitarian, but then there's a sudden shift with the witch trials and make people conform more with society. Yeah,
break the back of the human spirit or whatever, you know, people just doing their thing and they're like, you can't do that, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, because that's how we make money. Get things going, get things running.
There's a direct tie between the field closures and witch trials happening around the same time. Wonder why that would be. Yeah,
plus like as soon as obviously it's exported straight to the States or the colonies or whatever. It's like that's, you know, the beginning of Manifest Destiny or whatever, or like beginning of the colonial age, in a sense or whatever.
Yeah.
And they export that idea there. Like you can't be going around, you know, giving people herbs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, spices.
That's what the Indians do, you know. I wonder what the fuck. Oh, the Native Americans, they do that. You don't want to be like them.
It's paganism. Yeah. It's paganism.
Crazy
you know?
beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah. Get back to fucking France or whatever, you know.
Which I was kind of like, I was kind of hoping like, Scooby, because when I was just like, God, I wonder how they're going to portray the witch trials. And they just portray it as like, oh, there's mad shit that went on. But then it's like, witches are actually real and they're fucking evil.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go, because when they said, he was talking about, oh, she was just a purveyor of herbal remedies or whatever. I thought it was going to go, because another way people used to mad into like homeopathy or whatever. I thought it was going to go do that thing. It was like,
apothecary and shit like that.
Yeah. But then, it's like, no, the witches actually were a real thing, and they were evil, and they were trying to destroy the entire world.
Yeah.
So
these crazy women that had these magical powers, but I think that's contrasted them very well with
the eco-goths.
With the eco-goths, you know, because it is like they're the modern day version. These like progressive women that are all about the environment, but they're also fucking goths as well, and they're cool as shit.
Yeah, they're gas.
They're so in at the moment as well.
Yeah, they're huge. Hex girls, they're just class. Like
they're a good vibe, a good aesthetic.
Yeah, I love how like they just stumble upon them rehearsing in the forest in the middle of nowhere,
doing a full set in the middle of nowhere, like full blast.
Yeah. It's like, and they talk for like 30 seconds, and she's like, "It's great meeting you. I have to get back to my rehearsal." And they just go straight back up, like full blast again. There's like no one else around at all. It's just them at the stage.
It's like YouTube fucking practicing Crow Park.
Yeah.
Get the full show even before it started.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a good vibe. It's definitely the second best one.
Definitely, yeah.
And it definitely is that tie between, because it has the aesthetic of like very similar aesthetic to Zombie Island, but like not budget wise, I guess. But then it does the twisting, and then Alien Invasion is just a shitty rip-off of it, kind of, where it's like, oh, the aliens aren't real, but they are real. But in this time, the real thing is actually the good guy instead of being the ultimate bad.
Yeah, because he's an alien or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just not as good.
No.
It's a great way to end. I think our order is actually way better than the way they actually released.
Way better to fucking...
Ending on a good note.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of the animation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And vibes and stags, whatever.
Vibes, yeah.
I wonder if there's a tie. We could... probably do a tie in that way where like the alien, well actually now that I think about it, like except for, well, in the first one and the second one, is that the big bad is a female. Like, the cat people are all female. And then this one, it's witches, but the witches are also good. And then there's actually an evolution. The women are bad in the first film. Then in the second one, the ultimate bad is a female, but the ultimate good is a female. Then the third one, ultimate good is just females, and then the ultimate bad is like predominantly males. And then the fourth one, it's just code fucking what's the word? Virus thing.
Oh, the
Phantom
virus. Yeah, is that the last one?
That's the last one.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
because that's better than Alien Invaders.
Yeah, the third, it's just like Shrek. Like the third one's the worst one, and they improve with the last one.
Yeah.
Only slightly though.
Yeah. Who's I suppose the virus is the bad guy. It's more the ginger guy.
Yeah, the ginger guy's the bad guy. Yeah, because he created them.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, the ginger guy is the ultimate bad guy. So yeah, they do like male. Like it switches from female to male.
The gingers. Yeah.
The gingers. Never trust gingers. Never trust women or gingers.
That's the ultimate moral
The
of this
ultimate
entire
takeaway.
series.
It's the moral of the story.
Or aliens. Oh no, wait, the aliens are good.
Aliens are good. We can trust the aliens.
Yes, women, scientists, and gingers.
Can't trust them.
Can't trust them.
You can trust stoners with the dogs. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you can just like eco-goths. You can trust them as well.
Yeah, eco-goths and stoners.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the foundation upon which we will build a future society.
That's a perfect society. To be
Yeah,
fair.
that's a utopia in my book.
Eco-goths. What would you be? Would you be an eco-goth or would you be a stoner?
I'd definitely be an eco-goth. I think. Yeah, I
fair.
go for the eco-goth.
Yeah, fair.
Eco-goth vibe. I love their music.
We should rename this podcast Stoner and Eco-goth.
The archetypes.
They're the foundations of humanity.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
future.
stoners are also into herbs.
They're just Wiccans, but like with weed.
Yeah, with weed.
Yeah.
Wickeds with weed.
Yeah, basically, you know. Except they smoke it.
Yeah, they smoke it. Well, to be fair, the eco-goths are also smoking.
Are
But
they?
they're vaping.
They're vaping. Yeah. That's the thing. It's a real kind of duality of man situation. You
Yeah,
know?
he was a stoner. She was an eco-goth. Can I make it more obvious?
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, great series. To be fair, the animated ones are all good.
So yeah, it'll be the live action ones next.
We do the double.
We'll do a double bill. Yeah.
I haven't seen the first one in ages. I've seen the second one recently.
Oh really?
Yeah, like the last year or so. But like, I haven't seen the first one in fucking years.
Yeah, I can't. I remember I saw the first one a few years ago, like that. I kind of remember seeing it, but I haven't seen the second one maybe since it came out. Like, you know, I just remember the mud monsters in that, isn't it? All the different monsters Unleashed, and like the electricity
the mud
monster.
monster is also in fucking God, what the Cyber Chase at the end. So like, is he like a really like famous Scooby Doo monster then?
Yeah, of course.
I've never seen the original one though.
The original Scooby Doos.
Like I've seen a few of them, but I haven't seen the original Mud Monster one.
No, yeah, there's like a whole canon of like famous Scooby Doo. Like, you know the electricity guy.
Yeah.
You know him from the animated series?
No, I don't know him from the modern ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, he looks so cool in the animated series.
I'll have to look those up.
Yeah, like there's like a whole canon there that's just like, I don't think there's like any special place for them. It's just like they're really distinctive visually, and that's why they're
Yeah,
in
remember the little like the kind of hunchback dude, and he's also in the Monsters Unleashed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the classic Scooby Doo monsters?
Oh, the Hunchback guy, Mudman, werewolf, electricity guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let's look this up.
Oh yeah, the witch doctor.
The Phantom disc jockey, the Phantom DJ. He just looks like a guy from Kiss.
Yeah.
The Todd Caveman. What the fuck? This is fucking amazing. The like they give like appears in whatever episode, features, and then it says appears in Scooby Doo's Night with the Frozen Fright season 2. Features a strong grunting caveman with a club and a loincloth. Coolest trick, coming back to life after being frozen for thousands of years. Downfall, a giant clam.
Oh god, it's just like classic TV.
But there's 2 skeletons in Monsters Unleashed, so where the fuck did they come from? They must be a classic series as well.
I don't know, like, Because there's all these other. There's a whole different like sort of like path of Scooby Doo chronology. You know, with like
Yeah.
in the 80s with Scrappy and stuff, and they had a whole series of Vincent Price, like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, and the Ghoul School. Like we never even touched on those.
Yeah.
Those. Like,
Ghoul School is pretty good.
Yeah, and they had like crossovers with Batman, and I remember that being good. The Batman one was I love the Batman one, but in like a
Did
really
he like Joker or something in that one or something?
Joker was in the Batman one.
Yeah.
I remember I watched that on loop, but only because it's like Batman's in it, you know.
Oh, it is Adam West then for.
I think it is Adam West
That's
in that one.
gas.
Yeah.
That's gas.
And they pronounce words all mad and stuff. Like I remember Fred saying, "Oh, it's on the roof" and stuff like that. Like just like certain words. I just have a really weird memory of that entire because I had it on video cassette.
Yeah.
We used to play it all the time. I just remember like just really weird things about it, and the animation quality was so bad, but it was just like endearing in that kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I remember like I used to have because I had these ones. I had Zombie Island and Alien Invaders. I'm so upset that Alien Invaders is not that good.
Yeah.
Because I remember loving that when I was a kid and like watching it. I'm like, this is fucking shit. Except for Groovy, that's a tune. But besides that, it's also kind of creepy.
A bit weird, yeah.
A bit weird. It's just about domesticating this woman.
Yeah.
That's all that Shaggy wants to do.
Yeah, babies and baby dogs and stuff.
Awful shit.
Well, you know, Shaggy, he never had a love interest.
No, he didn't. Not like Freddie and Velma. And not like Oliver Reed and whoever the fuck he's fucking in this. He's fucking a lot of people in this film.
He fucks pretty much everyone in this film. And the driving force behind this film is people who he doesn't fuck being salty about it, basically.
This is the Devils that we're talking about, by the way.
Yeah.
This is not another Scooby Doo installment.
The Devils.
Directed by Ken Russell.
Ken Russell. What a guy.
What a king. Altered States. Don't know what else he's done.
Yeah.
Want to watch that?
Have to watch Altered States. Yeah, Ken Russell, I know he's a good guy. Did this in what, 71?
Yes, I think it's 71.
71, yeah.
Based on actual events.
This is?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, right. So it's loosely based on a real town.
Loudon.
And the actual dude was Urban Grinder, whatever.
Grandier.
He was a real person, and he was burned at the stake for witchcraft. And they now look back on this and like he was just a victim of a political move by the church. Like basically, what happens in this film is basically what happened in real life. Like besides all the mad shit, but like basically this priest who's like leading this town, and he's like, no, Protestants, Catholics, we're gonna get on together. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna fucking hold this town. And the church are like, get the fuck out of here. You're a fucking witch, and we're gonna burn you at the stake, and then we're gonna take over this town. And that's exactly what they did in real life.
Yeah, because it's like against the backdrop. It's like, is it early 17th or like late 16th century?
I think it's late 16th century.
Yeah, it's like against the backdrop of Louis the 13th, who was like the great grandfather of like the last French king. It was like when they were trying to consolidate power within the state, like in Paris, in Versailles. So like they had all these like sort of fiefdoms basically out in like I think this is based in Aquitaine, which used to be like like swapped hands between the French and the English like multiple times over the centuries previous. And like so they had all these different fiefdoms where like different people were in charge, like different nobles, like random locals were in charge basically of the administration, laws, and like how things were run. And so like I think starting around the 1600s, the French sort of cracked down on that. Like most of Europe did, I think, in terms of like sort of justifying it via the divine right of kings.
Yeah, religion.
Religion. And like sort of there's a line in the film where the priest is like, or it's like Richelieu.
Richelieu, Cardinal Richelieu.
Yeah, his advisor is like, we will make church and state one.
Yeah.
And that's the whole that's not like anything about like perpetuating Christianity. It's more about we're better off together because we both have the same interests in mind, and those interests are to sustain the power of the nobility and the clergy. And that's what they did, and they succeeded massively. Then obviously they had like repercussions down the line. But that's basically what this film is about, isn't it? Like even like the whole symbolism of the walls, the city walls of Loudon.
It's under siege.
Yeah, it's basically under siege from everywhere around it. So it's very historical. It's almost a folk horror film.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me a lot of Witchfinder General, which is a film from 1968, which is very, very similar, with Vincent Price in the main role. It's about a guy, also based on true events, about a guy who went around the countryside in England during the English Civil War, so around the same time as well, maybe a bit later. And he went around just like sort of pointing out witches and putting them on trial. But it was all completely, obviously, politically motivated. It was sort of a way for the state to crack down on the countryside, especially in England at that time. It was like sort of wilderness out there, and the whole point of the Civil War was they're bringing it all back into control. And this is like, it even looks like Witchfinder General.
This looks beautiful. It's
Yeah,
so
it looks
shot.
amazing. Yeah. It's the sets.
The sets are amazing.
You know, the colors and stuff.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
It is.
It's really well acted.
Yeah, Oliver Reed, you know.
He's a king.
He is, well.
I don't know what he's like in real life, but he's a king in this. He could be a piece of shit, I have no idea.
Yeah, he's a pretty bad guy, but yeah, he's definitely a great actor. Amazing actor.
And I love this film for like, obviously how it looks, how it sounds. I think it sounds amazing. The story is like pretty fucking crazy, but like it's also loosely based on true events. But like I like the start of this film because like the start of this film is like like hell is basically going on in this village or this city or whatever, where like it's literally like the plague is about, people are dying because of the plague, and like fires are burning everywhere, and these crazy doctors are trying to like fucking sort it out or whatever. And Oliver Reed is like, get the fuck out of here, like you're just torturing this woman basically with like stinging her with hornets or whatever. Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit science.
Yeah, I like how she immediately dies after that as
Oh,
well.
she's like, I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah. So this is all bullshit, and he takes it off, and she just dies immediately.
But this film is like, has so many critiques of religion in loads of different ways. Obviously, the overall thing being, it's kind of two overall things. Where one of the overall things though is the power, the like using power to like sway politically, like that shot or like that scene where Rachel was with King Louis, and he's just sitting there and he's just telling King Louis like, this is what we're gonna do, and King Louis like, yeah, sure, whatever, doesn't really give a shit because he's the fucking king, like he doesn't have to worry about this. But Rachel was like this fucking like general or something of the Pope, going into like claim France for, you know, the Pope, to consolidate Catholic power. And then there's also the secondary thing, which is like the repression of sexuality within Catholicism, where all the nuns are horny as fuck, but they can't get it out, and that ultimately, like, that repression of sexuality, like, ends up like diverting itself into Oliver Reed getting fucked up, and like basically the repression of sexuality aiding the political power of the church. So like both powers of the church, the abuses of power in terms of sexuality and obviously political power, both consolidating into like working together to like overcome whatever the church wants to happen. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
it's like, such a blatant critique of the church.
Yeah, the whole the sexual thing. Like there's a mad.
Man, this is such a horny film.
This is like the horniest film you'll ever watch. It's ridiculous.
Crazy. And it's really gross horny as well.
Yeah, it's in like a sort of uncomfortable way sometimes. Like it was like one of the most controversial films ever.
It's still like extremely. You get, like
it was banned in Finland up till like this century.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers are the ones that hold the rights to it. They won't re-release this.
Yeah. Yeah, even when I watched on Shudder, like the quality is pretty bad. Like,
yeah,
like they
the
don't even have
aspect ratio is so small.
Yeah,
I was watching it on my TV, and I had to get up and I had to sit down and watch it on my computer because the aspect ratio is so small.
Yeah, it's like 360p.
Yeah,
because they don't have a full print. Because they don't want to publish it, I suppose.
Which, like, when you're watching, like, oh, I wonder why they won't fucking release this again. I wonder if it's got to do anything with a blatant critique of fucking the state and the church.
Yeah, definitely, because. It doesn't seem that bad for the first while, but then things start to get out of hand with like the nun orgy and like
Oliver Reed getting fucked up.
Yeah, Oliver Reed getting fucked up, and like Vanessa Redgrave getting fucked up up the hall. Like it's all like that was
fucking
it
awful.
gets out of hand really, really quickly. But like it's only an hour and 48 minutes, I think.
It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's not that long.
They cut it down as well. There's bits missing.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it got censored. There's
Mm.
also, I read something that, you know the bit where Oliver Reed's getting his legs broken. I
Yeah.
actually, one aspect I have to say, I have to praise this film. It's not gratuitous. It's disturbing and it's fucked up, but it's not gratuitous because I was expecting something like Misery, where like
Yeah.
it's not, but like it's
Oh, Misery. You
Misery's
should have reminded me of that.
Misery's fucking awful for that.
Yeah.
But like it's not that level of like leg breaking. Like it's, you don't see it basically. It's just Oliver, like you just hear like cracking and Oliver Reed just going, ah, fuck,
Sure.
that's really sore.
It's the same as the same when they get the bellows and like
The bellows is worse though,
yeah,
because I'm not 100% certain what they're doing there.
yeah, neither. But like they at least I was sure they're gonna show it, but they don't show it in the end. But like,
And I praise the
God.
film for like it's not gratuitous and it's not like
it's gratuitous for the time. Like
yeah, no.
Yeah. For at the time, people are like, "What the fuck is this?" People have never seen tits in their lives, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, what is going on? There's a bunch of nuns naked running around.
Yeah, yeah, and
But,
they're
like-
like having sex with the cross and stuff. It's
Oh
like,
God. Yeah, no, but like that, because I feel like if this film came out, not if the film came out like a couple of years later, but if this was directed by someone else, they would have shown like the nun getting
yeah,
holy water shoved into her, and like it's more disturbing because you don't see it, I think, because your
Yeah.
mind's like kind of filling in the blanks of what's going on.
yeah.
That's awful. That's easily the most disturbing bit. But in terms of like Oliver Reed getting his legs broken, like you don't really see anything there, and like that kind of like, because when Oliver Reed got captured and they said we're gonna torture you, I hit pause and was like, hold on. I went onto IMDb and was like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And I saw that they're gonna break his legs. Like, okay, fuck. And I turned down the sounds because I was expecting like really violence. Like, oh god, thank God it's not that violence. But I completely forgot what my point was before I started talking about how gratuitous. It's not gratuitous though. Is the
It's
main
not
point.
gratuitous. Yeah.
Completely
It's-
forgot what my point is.
It
though.
works. It works though.
Oh, sorry. That was my point. The English cut of this film was different to ones that were released other places, where the leg breaking scene went on for way longer in the English cut. Like he was getting, I don't know what cut we watched on Shudder, but I think they just questioned him longer. I have no idea. I don't know how long the actual scene was in the English cut and other cuts, but there is a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still pretty. I feel like we were watching the English one because it's pretty long.
Yeah, it was grand, you know. It's not out there, but at the same time, it's a really kind of bizarre sort of aesthetic to it, you know. Even the way white, the color white is
white and black is major.
is a huge motif, more like it's like a motif.
Yeah.
The director said that the whiteness in the film is a sort of like a stand-in for how like structures break down real relationships between real people. So like the state and the church, like institutions, come in and intervene in organic circumstances within in the village or like local kind of areas, and sort of break down these authentic relationships. Like even before the French authorities show up, like you have the church, like the Vanessa Redgrave's character, like all the nuns, and like they're like isolated from they're literally isolated from everywhere else in the city, even though the city itself has a wall built around it and stuff. And the priest obviously is like sort of struggling with the fact that it's not approved to have sex or like marry anyone as a priest, but he still does it anyway. And like it's all about like these institutions interfering, and apparently the backgrounds being so sort of so prominent and so like sort of interjecting in like the landscape is emblematic of that, I think.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't agree with it as well. It also makes the film look fucking beautiful. Like
It looks class.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks like an art piece, you know.
Yeah, every shot is like an art piece.
Yeah.
Like that. There's a couple of shots that really stood out to me. There's one shot of the Mother Superior character. Don't know what her name. What's her name?
Vanessa Redgrave.
When she's getting questioned over like whether or not she's like has the devil in her or whatever. There's like a shot of her like looking up the priest or whatever, and she says like you can just see the insanity in her fucking eyes, like over how fucking horny she is over Oliver Reed.
Yeah.
But like behind her are all the nuns like bowing like in black, and she's in black, and everything is white, but the nuns are behind her in black, and they're praying to like the altar or whatever. And it's just like this really stark contrast between the blacks and the whites. It just looks amazing, really symmetrical as well. Really nice shot. But like her character is so fucking disturbing. And like, there's just so like she's such a like a kind of complex character where like her imagining Oliver Reed as Jesus and then she fucks Jesus, but like she has like her humpback, and like that's been like the disfigurement. She's like, oh, he'll never love me over this, but like I don't think Oliver Reed knows who the fuck she is.
Yeah, she doesn't know who he is. You know, it's just like carnal sort of desires. Like she's trapped in that like sort of anchorite commune or whatever, like in that little monastery. So she's like, even before the what's his name, the guy on the horse, the French guy, the king's emissary, whatever his name is, even before he shows up, she's already like being bottled up. Like she can't express herself in any way. Like they're trapped in there. It's just like what, like 50 women just inside a gaff. Yeah. And they can't, do anything. They can only pray and eat and like.
I'm pretty sure
sleep.
Like the whole point is that like she like praises their order or whatever for like they keep away and they don't socialize with anyone. They just eat and pray, and it's all women. They stay together to keep themselves away from desire, basically.
Yeah.
But that in turn like biting them in the ass and like making things way fucking worse.
Yeah, making them insane.
Yeah, because like all their urges are like fucking bottled up and they can't have anyway. Yeah. And even when she does, relieve herself of those needs, of those desires, whatever, flicking the bean by herself, whatever, she fucking flays herself directly afterwards because she's like imagining God.
Yeah, even when they're about to kill
the bean.
When they're about to kill all the other nuns, like the subordinate nuns, and like they're in the little hole, and Barre shows up and he's like, no, they're possessed by the devil also, and then he comes up and he's like, he like absolves them, he stops the army from killing them, and he's like, you are now absolved of all responsibility. Anything you do is not your own fault. Like, you are possessed by the devil. And all the nuns go mental. And like,
that's what that was. Yeah. I was so confused. I was like, that makes way more sense.
And they rip off their clothes and they start like fucking, there's a big nun orgy where they start having sex with the cross and stuff. So it's all like that bottled up energy is just like pouring forth in this like bizarre orgy scene.
I missed that because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. But that makes way more sense now. It's like the bottled up repressions is being released. It's like you're like, imagine saying to someone like so like repressed as like, you can do whatever you want now. It's no longer your fault. Yeah. And this is the end result of that. Like he gave them the option, because like the way that I thought it was that like they were all thirsting after Oliver Reed's character, but then when this other dude comes in, he's like, and he saves them, that they were immediately like, oh, let's grab him and let's fuck him instead.
No, yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, gotta get. They're just horny, like,
get it out.
Even though, like, especially because he's a holy man, but he's also like, he has power in the state as well. So he gives them permission to do what they want and to like
and kind of encourages them to do it as well, because he wants them to.
So that's why they go mental. All they need was permission from the institution, which is I think that's why it's so controversial, the film, because it just it has this idea of church and state and like power structures as like in themselves as being like completely self-interested in a way that like they know that what they're doing is completely like not only immoral but like not even, it's all like sort of a facade. It's all a mirage. Like when they're having the big orgy in like the church and King Louis shows up and he offers to Barre, he offers like a relic.
And he's like, oh, this will save them.
Yeah, this was like a vial of blood from Jesus himself, and it's like, how about you bring this into all the nuns having their sexual ways and like see if it saves them. And Barry takes the relic and he brings it into the nuns, and they all stop.
He has it in a box. He doesn't open the box.
Yeah, he doesn't open the box, and he brings it into nuns, and he's like, oh, I've saved them, and they all act as if they're cured. And then Louis laughs and he's like, there's nothing in the box, man. It's like that, like it's just
bollocks.
It's all bollocks. But like he doesn't. It's not like a moment where they go, oh, this isn't real. Yeah. It's just like they just laugh about it, It's all, and then completely,
just go back to it.
Yeah, it's all completely self-interested, completely cynical power dynamics.
And because it doesn't really matter, because the point isn't that like they're releasing their urges, or whatever. Yeah. The point is when Oliver Reed comes in here, when that's whatever his name is, Gigante, is that his name? Oh wait, Gigante is someone else. Who the fuck? We're talking about these fucking South American names earlier. What's it? Granade, whatever.
Grandier, yeah.
Grandier. When he comes in, it's like, okay, now we gotta get him. Like fucking deem him now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's definitely like the male character, the male power dude, whatever, like
The alpha.
the alpha, whatever. He is able to unleash his urges because he is a man, and he's able to do that. Like, he's allowed in this society to, don't worry, bro. It's okay if you go off and fuck like these virgins, or whatever. It's no bother, and you get them pregnant. It doesn't really matter. But the women, they have to stay in that fucking in their tomb, basically, and they get, like, boil up basically because of that, because they're not able to unleash their urges, unlike every other male character in the film.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's like he's like sort of the poster child for like he's blamed basically. Like he's the sacrifice. He's the witch, obviously, in the film. And he's like, that's the whole kind of thing with witches, they're just sort of there. Like, there's a problem in society, and they're like, oh, it must be this person's fault for whatever reason. Like, he's like, when he walks into the room, all the women go mental for him, and like
he basically died because he's too hot.
Yeah, Oliver Reed, like, this guy he died because he was too hot. Like, he walks in the room, the women go mental, and they're always moaning his name and stuff. So like, he's a danger. Not just to like morality or anything like that. He's
politically or anything like that.
Yeah, he's a danger to like the church. He's a danger to power itself, because he represents something else to look toward, and something that's completely uncontrolled, and it's all focused sort of on
this. Priests could like unleash their urges that they have. What if they can get married? What if nuns and stuff? We can't have that.
It's cool how like how much historical context there is to the film.
Yeah,
because you have so many examples of like priests. Protestant priests and stuff, like in like Germany or England or wherever, that like did basically what Grandier did. And obviously Grandier was based on a real person as well. Like, it's not just a story or an allegory. It's like this
shit actually happened.
It actually happened, and like there's no other way to explain it other than these institutions were like extremely afraid of what these people represented, in the fact that they were only accountable to the people around them and not to the people in power at the time. It's a very, very cynical outlook, and it's a very, very bad look for
any form of power.
Yeah, the guys in charge, which I think is probably why it's still kind of on the hush, on the down low.
It's pretty hard to find as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Shudder though, man.
Shudder, fair play.
2 fucking films like fucking this, the Devils and the Wolf House, both on Shudder.
Oh shit!
I've shot on Shudder a lot, but like when they have something good, they have something good.
Yeah.
Like And I think that the film is also like as critical of the state as it is of church as well, because you have like King Louis just seems to be like this like flamboyant like abuser of his power, where like he has like that shot, I keep saying that scene where he's with the cardinal, and you're like, what the fuck is he's just shooting off his gun. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? And then it's revealed that like they have all these Protestants that they dress up as crows, and they're like forcing them down this row, and then it's just for the king just to pop them off. And then he's like, oh, I can't wait till we kill all the Protestants and we can just have the church or the state all to ourselves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like it's as cynical of the state as it is of the well, not exactly as much, but like it's still critical of the state. Like the state is complicit in this as well.
The state is the church, basically.
Yeah, well, that's literally what the film is saying. Is
or the church melded into the state. Like all them, even like the Protestant thing. Like I don't think in that scene even cares that they're Protestant. He's just like, they're
just lessers.
Yeah, I don't care. Like he's like, I don't care about like the fucking religious aspect. Like you disagree with the Bible, like whatever, you know. Like I'm just trying to fucking chill out here. Like you can stop like moaning in my ear,
Yeah, I just want to eat my fucking cherries.
Yeah,
I want to fucking watch a nun orgy, and I want to shoot some people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way they all worked out, They just didn't want accountability, and the church promised them that.
Yeah.
Because the church was like, we don't want you fucking priests talking about marrying women, unleashing women, like, without supervision on the world. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
That's too dangerous.
Way too
Especially
dangerous.
for things that are, going to come afterwards. Like.
Yeah, they really got fucked up afterwards.
Yeah, fucking hell. Shocking stuff. Amazing film, though.
Yeah, it actually is. It's amazing.
It's an amazing film.
You should watch Witchfinder General. It's a very good.
I will definitely.
Companion piece. It's actually ridiculous how similar they are. It's not as good, I wouldn't say, but it's very good though.
This is like one of the best. I think this is like one of the best films I've ever seen.
It actually is.
And it's so concise and like its critique as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's like so straight to the point.
I love this film.
The Diablos.
And the special effects as well, when like Grenadier. I can't pronounce his name.
Grandier.
When he's getting burnt, the special effects are very good.
Yeah.
That's what fucked up as well. And your man's like, he must be strangled, and he can't get into him.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up.
The noose, yeah.
Oh, I promised the priest he'd be strangled. I'm sorry, priest.
Sorry, bro.
He doesn't even care. But like that's it as well. Like his dying last words are basically, "Do not let these people in power. They will take everything from you."
Yeah.
That's like actually, I think I took a quote of it.
Grandier.
No, I didn't. I thought I did. Well, yeah, like his last words are basically words of rebellion. Like you could have fucking the guy from If saying the what he says in this film, and it has like the same exact message. Don't let these people take over. The church and state are one and the same, and you as the people have to fucking hold on to your liberties as much as you can, because like even in terms of like what the city was, like the city's like not egalitarian, but like an equal place for Protestants and Catholics. But the church and the state want to ruin that. They want people fighting. People are easier to control when they're afraid and when they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
And even that last shot of we haven't even talked about that character, the wife, I guess, of
Grandier.
I keep gonna say Granada, and I know that's not his name. Grandier, like that character where she wanted to become a nun and she's told to fuck off by the Mother Superior, and she ends up just marrying him anyway.
Yeah.
But that shot of her walking out into like this like wasteland, it's like alien.
It's a new world.
It's a new world, but it's bleak as fuck.
Yeah,
like, she's walking into a wasteland, and that is the world that is when the church and the state are one and the same.
Yeah. It's like it's not a good world. It's a new one. You know, things have been fucked up. The locals, the village, the end of the village. You know.
Yeah.
It's all about the village. You know, go back to the village.
Small communities not allowed.
Small communities, yeah, fuck it up, and it's all subordinated to the central power of the state. And she walks off into the wastelands. Like, that's the world you live in now. Like, that's literally the early modern period.
Yeah,
like that's the beginning of modern times. Like, that's how it worked out. Like, they just smashed everything that didn't agree with what the lads at fucking HQ were saying. So that's that's the world we live in.
Yeah, it's a bleak fucking film.
Yeah, it's also cool. Like,
it's also fucking cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's a great film.
Yeah,
I love this film. We go on to some listener questions.
Let's go.
If you want to ask us a question, you can ask us on Instagram or Twitter at @paro_pod, or you can send us an email to theparopod@gmail.com. So the first question is coming in from Sarah, and Sarah is asking us, what are your favourite spots to drink in Dublin?
Favorite spots to drink in Dublin?
Obviously the Grand Social.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Favorite spots to drink?
Albert College Park.
New Bar. Oh yeah, New Bar is actually pretty good. You know, compared to I went to the Pav. Pav isn't that good.
Nah, Pav's overrated.
Yeah, very overrated.
Except for during the summer or spring or whatever. When you can sit on
they have the field. Like,
the field.
It's cheating.
But we also have, DCU. We don't have it anymore, but DCU has.
We did.
We did. Albert College Park. It's also a good vibe.
Pretty much the same thing. It's like less packed, I suppose. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good vibe.
The Goose, obviously.
You know.
Ivy and Drumcondra.
Ivy's pretty good, yeah. It's like
reliable,
yeah. You know, I've heard bad things also, you know.
Yeah,
their points aren't very good.
Yeah, it's not great, but
yeah,
it's reliable.
Grogan's in town, great.
Bad Bob's.
Bad Bob's? I've had a few mixed experiences in Bad Bob's. I've been twice.
Yeah.
One time I got coronavirus.
Yeah, Bad Bob's is alright. Workman's is obviously reliable.
Yeah, bad pints though. You know?
Bad pints, but good cocktails.
Good like outside area as well, like, you know.
Purely just a smoking area.
Yeah, it's just like it's grand.
Music is whatever, but like the smoking area is where it's at.
It's a great vibe.
O'Reilly's,
it's good. It's very good.
It's classic.
Yeah. It's a classic. It's just a go-to, you know. Hasn't been a go-to in quite a long time, but you know, it was. Hopefully, that's been closing down for about 4 years.
Yeah,
to be fair, you know.
Yeah. Mondays, man. O'Reilly's
Mondays. Cheap ass Mondays.
I'm gonna have to take a few Tuesdays off soon.
The big get a big fucking pint of Jaeger and you're laughing.
Yeah, pints of Jaeger, man. I think my heart would give out if I was to do that now.
It was grand, you know. It worked out great.
Back when we were young.
But
what's some other good spots? Don't know. Town's kind of shut. The Globe, but Globe's closing down.
is it?
Isn't the Globe turning into a hotel?
Is it?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, that's grim.
Town is fucking shite.
Town actually is. It's not great.
Like
is
now that I'm listing places off, I'm like, I don't really like any of these places.
Yeah.
Just some pubs, like, I don't know.
Crowbar.
Crowbar.
Foggy Dew.
Foggy Dew, yeah.
It's good.
Foggy Dew's good.
Very good.
If you're going for food and stuff like that, fucking Token.
I've never been to Token.
Token's great.
Hopefully it reopens.
Token's very good.
PMax.
Oh yeah, PMax. Oh yeah, PMax.
Yeah, all the basic spots.
And Harry Lemon.
Harry Lemon, also good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't really think of places. Like, it's been so long that I've been anywhere that I can't really think of places.
Yeah. Even when things were opened, like before, like half those places weren't doing anything, you know.
Yeah.
So it's sad to see, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, town is kind of shite though, going out into town.
Yeah. Now, cafe bar.
Cafe bar, Swords. The nights that we had there.
Yeah.
Cafe bar.
Good vibes.
Shout out to Swords.
Yeah, Swords. Yeah. Underrated. Many ways.
Cafe bar is also shite, but it's also amazing.
Yeah. So bad it's good, you know.
So bad it's good.
It's cheap though. That's
cheap,
that's
yeah.
all you want, you know. Yeah, cafe bar is great, you know.
Cafe
good
bar
vibes.
is good.
You know, gotta get into the different places, you know, like out in the suburbs and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Smiths and Donna Bay, shout out to them, you know.
Shout out to Smiths. Not Fairview. Place in Drumcondra or whatever works there. Or
Oh, but yeah, McGowan's.
McGowan's is alright.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's very GA territory
yeah,
though.
it's a big guy place, yeah.
But you know, it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright.
Back page. Good. Quite good.
Never heard of it.
Wigwam. You've never heard
Wigwam.
of Backpage?
Wigwam.
Wigwam is class.
Wigwam's good.
Wigwam's always a good vibe.
The Academy.
The Academy, bro.
I remember being young enough to be able to go to Tramline. That was pretty good. The 3 times
I
went there.
never went.
Tramline's fucking shite.
It'll be back.
It's way too. We were way too old to be going there. To none.
Yeah.
That's why it's like a good pub / bar. Fuck that nightclub shit.
Yeah, just a few pints. See, that's the thing. Like they're gonna change. See, they're changing the opening hours and stuff. Like
I can't fucking wait.
Like I'd much prefer to sit in a pub to 3 a.m. like at a table and just like, you know, chat with people rather than like have to like get up every now and then and like I don't like that. You know, I don't I don't mind it. You know, when there's a vibe, maybe once or twice, but I prefer to just sit down and just sort of relax.
Yeah.
That's my kind of thing.
Yeah, same. This is the same. Yeah, it's shy talk. Like that's,
yeah,
that's
what it's all about. You know? Yeah.
Question to the listener was about subtext. How important subtext is. Can it make or break a film, basically?
Jack is saying super important, and I think it works both ways. The anti-capitalist subtext of Freddy Got Fingered turns a stupid film into a brilliant anti-comedy, while the anti-feminist undertones of The Exorcist turn a fantastic horror film into a morally ambiguous misogyny fest. For the record, I love both films. Well, that's very...
I just realised I misspelled ambiguous when I was typing that out, but anyway.
Among Us.
Among Us.
It's back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I watched Freddy Got Fingered only recently. That's like the worst film I've ever seen, but it's also fucking amazing.
Anti-comedy.
And it's like the most anti-comedy thing I've ever seen. But yeah, I think pretty obvious at this stage. We're 34 episodes into this fucking podcast. We think subtext is key.
Absolutely key.
Really, really important to a film.
Yeah.
Can like make a bad film amazing. Like you know, I kind of fucking hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, but you know, there's a lot. There is, yeah. When you read into it, it's kind of good, but it's also shit.
Yeah, I think it's very important to consider the text as a living thing. You know, that you're supposed to engage with, rather than just be like, you know,
it's shot really well.
Yeah, the images I saw were pretty good, or they were pretty bad. You know, you should be like, what did I think about that? What did it mean? You know?
Yeah, what's it saying?
What's it trying to say? Yeah, I think that's key. I think that's you know, if you're not doing that, you're sort of wasting your time, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like even in terms of like everything is saying something, whether it intends to or not. So it's important to like think about what's the message of a film. Like a filmmaker might not intend for a film to have the message that it does, but regardless or not, it still ends up with a message.
Yeah, they can't help it, you know. It's part of the thing, you know.
It's the living bit of the text.
Yeah, the living organism of the film. And, you know, we're all part of this big organism, so you might as well try to understand it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Like give you a bit of insight into the system.
Yeah, you know, how things are working. You know, how you can find out more about yourself from what you
read into the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't. Yeah. Have you ever found out something, like realized something about yourself or whatever from watching the film?
Yeah, definitely. But like, I think most of it is like subconscious in a way. Like, you know, when you watch a film and you're like, that spoke to me in a way. Like, there's all like speaking to you is like, seems like a kind of like a metaphor for that. Like, it speaks to you in a way that you can't really like articulate or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like something that just sort of that clicks, and I think if you like, you have to sort of investigate that and like think it through and the problem of that and like why it's speaking to you. You know, I think any good film does that. You know, teaches you more about yourself. It's all, like Burroughs had a good quote about how like any decent piece of art will tell you something that you already knew but you didn't know how to articulate.
Yeah. 100. I 100% agree with that. I'm trying to think of like films that like have like major like subtext, whatever. Like Pen This Fen is the most obvious example of that. I think for this podcast, we had a whole fucking big old spiel about that a couple episodes ago. But like with Pen This Fen, like that film really, really speaks to both of us, because that term is not really subtext, it's more the text.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that if you weren't reading into the film, you might just be like, what is this fucking gibberish? Because it is like, it is the text, but it's like coded, kind of, if you know what I mean, in that film.
Yeah, you have to follow it, you know.
You have to engage with what it's doing.
Like, it's not that demanding. Like, it's all in there, as Rudkin said, but at the same time, he does expect some kind of critical engagement with it. It's more about what you think, you know. It's like a call and response kind of thing. Like, he's expecting you to be working alongside the film rather than just watching it and going like, oh, that was good, you know.
That's why some things are a bit like lazy and like they really shovel on the meaning. Like, in terms of literature, because I just thought of like To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird has the most obvious fucking subtext ever, where it is just text and it's kind of telling you
racism is bad.
Racism is bad. Yeah, obviously, but like, you know, there's not much engaging in that. But I think that's the reason why the film is basically a kid's book, because it's so fucking obvious.
Animal Farm
is just fucking up to like, that's just more obvious than that.
Whoa. Authoritarianism is bad.
Whoa, the commies.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean the commies, I'm pretty sure, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a film like Freddy Got Fingered, where like it's a fucking awful film, but when you read into it, it's really good.
I don't know. If Texas Chainsaw 4 is something that I really hated the film, but like, as we talked, just talking about it, like on the podcast, I was
like unraveling
layers. It was like, it's not just funny. Like, obviously there is something weird going on, you know. Like, there's some kind of fucking bizarre schizophrenic kind of meaning to it. Yeah, you know.
I think that's a film. Like, I watched Nick Spears' video on that actually.
Oh, what'd she say?
She was like, it's just a film that like has a meaning, but like kind of purposely gives you the finger for trying to read into it. Like, it's telling you to fuck off when you're trying to read into it.
Yeah. Like, it
is that kind of schizophrenic reading to it, though. That's I would say that's my one as well.
Yeah,
I kind of fucking hate that film, but I also really love it.
Yeah, I hated it when I watched it, but the more I thought about it, I was like, it's actually kind of good.
I don't think a week has gone by where I haven't thought about that film.
Yeah. It sticks around.
It does stick.
It's just lingering in the air.
Yeah. And what's a film that, like, when you read it, like like the example of The Exorcist, where like you read into it, it's like, oh god, this is bad. This is like bad. This is like going against what I think. I can't think of one.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, Halloween's super conservative.
Yeah, it's very much about all that stuff. Like, you know, you can't really escape from it, and like, she's the pure virgin,
and that's why
she survives. You know.
Yeah, that's the slasher genre as a whole.
Yeah. It's definitely But it's like you know, it's like an idiot kind of reading of it. Like, in terms of like, it's like a really innocent kind of way. Like, obviously John Carpenter, like, he made like They Live, which is one of the most obvious,
one of the great leftist films.
One of the great of the leftist canon, and like really obvious and like cool subtext.
So that's a film, like, in terms of like, I think that's a pretty decent film, but when you read into it, like, this thing's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. But whereas like Halloween, it's like, it's more like he was just using the tropes, and like there wasn't. I doubt there was much thought put into it. You know. So it's not like it makes it worse, but it definitely is. It's like something that you sort of have to, you know, take the swings and roundabouts about it, because there is like
pinch of salt.
It's very limited in terms of you know, reading it in that kind of way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. God, Halloween. Yeah, They Live is actually probably the example of like where most of my enjoyment is purely from the subtext.
Yeah, just thinking about like,
just think about it.
Was it like the fight scene? It's unreadable without thinking this is something about. Well, maybe Zizek is just so good at coming up with that bollocks, but like, that's the perfect reading of that, because there's no other reason except for like the fact that it's Roddy Piper doing it, but like the idea that there's a 9-minute fight scene, because that's the kind of strenuous sort of effort you have to put into converting someone and sort of making someone see the truth. Like, that's just the perfect way to look at that.
Yeah.
To approach that scene.
Where, like, I don't know, whatever the original meaning was, like, is no longer the meaning, like, death to the author, you know what I mean? Like, it's
exactly,
like, it no longer means that. It means something bigger and something greater. That's like the perfect subtext film.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
That scene specifically is just, like, legendary stuff.
Yeah, legendary. And such a, like, it turns like a really stupid 9-minute fight scene into something profound and really like beautiful. Yeah, like it's this struggle that everyone goes to. Like, please see the truth of what's going on.
Fighting Roddy Piper for 9 minutes.
Getting fucking Batista bombed.
Yeah, like that's like I love that stuff way more. Like stuff that's just like immediate and like anyone can sort of vibe with, you know, rather than something like that like talks too much. Like obviously Panda's fan, it's just all. Talking, pretentious, kind of like overwritten kind of stuff, but it's on purpose. Like it knows what it's trying to do, and like They Live is just like the opposite.
It's
but
the
it's doing
action.
the same thing. Yeah. It's all action. It's not talking. It's not trying to theorize about it.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
It's great. God, They Live is so fucking good. And it's on Netflix now as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now. So
everyone, you've no excuse not
if
to
you're
watch
listening to this, go watch They Live and learn something about the universe. Learn something about capitalism.
The aliens are here.
And then Sarah saying, reading into a film can be fun, but it 100% isn't necessary. There are other aspects that are more important.
Yeah, I suppose.
Kind of. Like,
there are other aspects that are more important. I completely disagree. I'm sorry, Sarah.
Yeah.
I completely disagree. But yeah, it's not 100% necessary. You know, if you're watching Godzilla, King Kong, it doesn't really matter what the reading is, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're sitting down to watch that, obviously you're
except for when it's CIA propaganda.
True.
Like,
True.
Like Avengers,
yeah, that's the thing. You have to read into all these things, you know? Like who's financing it, and like what's the message. Like I haven't watched Godzilla, King Kong, but like that's not the whole point of that isn't, you know, the subtext. I don't know what the subtext is, but even if it is like a Marvel film, subtext isn't, you know, bad guys are bad, good guys are evil, or good guys are good. You have to like look outside the text almost. So that's what I would do anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like, yeah, but some films like where this like what's a film like The Raid or something fucking like some action films.
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly,
times like action films are like, actually, you know, rom-coms can have a subtext, but like it's like Breakfast Club. When you watch The Breakfast Club, it's like, oh, it's a really fun time. But when you read into the subtext, it's like, oh God, like stick to your role. You won't be liked if you don't conform to society and stuff like that. Like that's a really conservative reading to the film. Like it's actually pretty obvious when you think about it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's probably the film. That's actually a film where like I enjoyed it as a kid, but when I'm like, oh God, like the subtext is.
It does sort of impinge upon it, you know. Yeah, even in like I suppose in action films as well, like Mad Max. You don't have to read into Mad Max Fury Road, like
no,
but you can, and it sort of makes it better if you do.
Yeah,
so it is pretty necessary.
Yeah, I think subtext like is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Like engaging with what you're watching, not being passive. Not just taking down any old schlock that's given to you.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's pretty important. Thinking.
Yeah, thinking big.
Movies are entertaining, but you know they can also teach you something and make you think about things.
Yeah, what's the point otherwise?
You know, you can read a novel for the enjoyment of it, but maybe if you read into a novel and engage with the text a bit more, you might enjoy it a little bit more. Yeah. You might also dislike it a lot more.
There you go. You've learned something either way.
You know? Yeah, you've literally learned something either way.
There you go.
Learning. That's what we're about.
That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
Educational. For us.
Like, stupid form of education.
Yeah. It's really dumb way of educating.
Movies.
It's movies, man.
Movies. But yeah, and like that whole like and like learn about things from films, like that whole fucking shit with like the Wolf House and like the Devil is like that's all aspects of history that I could never really knew about, but now I know because I watched these films and I engaged the text and thinking like, what is this talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like you wouldn't say, is it okay to read poetry without reading into it? You know.
You're
It's
kind of
all-
expected to read
yeah.
into poetry.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what people will do. In 100 years from now, they'll be like everything will be like, oh, this is a reflection of the time that came out. You know.
I can't wait to analyze the shit out of TikToks.
Yeah, exactly.
TikToks are just poems.
Yeah, yeah. And even like stuff like Metropolis, or like Dr. Caligari, like German expressionism. Like that's like most people who know about those films associate it with like fascism and stuff, like
Yeah.
how it sort of led up to fascism. But like at the time, they didn't think, oh, we're heading for fascism right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to release Dr. Caligari. You know, it's like it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Subconscious.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, yeah, because I watched Southland Tales a while ago,
Mm.
like 2 weeks ago or something. And with that film, you're like, that film came out in 2006, and even now you're watching it, it's like, wow, this is really blatantly talking about like Trump and shit like that. But like, it's not intending to at all. It's just like seeing things that are coming in the future, but they obviously didn't know that that was what they were seeing,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
taken as a historical artifact.
Yeah, finding omens and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, creepy stuff. That's the coolest part, you know. When you find something that really clicks and you're like, why does this make sense? Why does this make so much sense? And usually it makes sense for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, subtext is important. Not 100% important, but it can make and break a film.
That's it.
That's it. That's all there is to it.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
All right. We will be back next week again when we're talking about Gummo, Harmony Korine's magnum opus.
Yeah, what a film. Directed at 23.
All subtext as well.
All subtext, you know. Unless you want to read this just straight, you know. Just about a guy.
2 dudes
Just two dudes, you know.
Hanging out.
Shooting cats. Hanging out in bathtubs.
eating.
Yeah, eating stuff, you know.
Dude with a bunny suit.
Yeah, bunny hat guy. It's just, you know.
Whatever.
You have to watch it.
Yeah,
You
have to watch it.
Is it
It's a-
available anywhere?
No, I don't think so.
You can look if you just Google it, you know.
Yeah, this is one of those films that's not anywhere, but it is everywhere.
Yeah, it's very, very
Like, it's
readily
not any-
available.
Any streaming sites, but if you just look up Gummo, it's gonna come up like somewhere is gonna tell you where you can watch it.
Yeah, no streaming site wanted this. That's why it's not anywhere, you know.
And I don't think Harmony Korine doesn't give a shit if you're gonna watch this for free or not.
He doesn't go rats. He's made his money.
Yeah,
He's there doing Gucci ads these days, you know. He doesn't need the Gummo money.
what a mad fucker.
Yeah.
Making films that Matthew McConaughey and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, hold on. He's got friends in high places.
All right,
Yeah.
see you everyone.
Bye.